Hola, 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 mi amigos. What is up, everyone? What's up, Ben? How are you doing? Shadow Smith in the house. Johnny's wondering what time is it? We got 26 minutes until the announcement from Jerome Powell and the Fed. But I want to show everyone right now, I've changed up some things. Nair says, will there be a hike? Right now, we are expecting a 25 basis point hit. We have right now 36 minutes. All right, so here is the deal, everyone. You can see right behind me. Check it out. Hello from Canada. Hello from South Carolina. Check it out, Ben. I made some changes. I've got the picture now, everyone, up on the wall in the studio in here. I actually made some changes to my lighting set. I actually changed this whole thing over in here. Changed the angles. Got rid of the green screen action. We're just going to go with different types of RGB for now. So yeah, check it out. We got the stellar picture up on the wall. And what else do we got? We got getting Habibi Justin chiming in. That one guy you know is saying hello. What's up? That one guy you know. No worries, Johnny. But check it out. We also got the whiteboard, everyone. The whiteboard right now is blank. What should we put on the whiteboard? We could be naughty. We could be nice. We could put, Gary Gensler on there. We can write whatever we want on the whiteboard, but let's come up with something good to write up on there. All right, so here is the deal. We are currently at, what the hell time? We are at 1:35 Eastern time, all right? Jerome Powell, the announcement will be done at 2 p.m. Okay, that's the announcement for the rate hike. Let me show you guys a tool real quick from the CME. You guys know how we do it up in the hood. Let's go to my CME FedWatch tool right here. Yeah, I'm with you on that one, Shadow Smith. Let's write something naughty up on there. But we got to write something good. John September, hi from South Africa. All right, so check it out, everyone. I've got the CME's Fed target rate predictions right now. 85%. And what's up, Jimbo Tango, John Niner? 85% out there are believing that Jerome Powell will come in with a 25 basis point hit. All right, 85%. Most likely, the majority of the red that you're seeing right now is based on this being a done deal at 25 basis points. The market right now is saying, hey, 15% is saying no movement at all. What's changed, though, is this bottom line right here, which is the 50 basis point hit. 1 month ago, 25% of people out there, and holy crap, I have to shrink myself. Sorry about that, guys. I just wanted to show you the Ben photo and what we should put back there. My bad on that, everyone. But anyways, right now, you've got 25% of people a month ago thought we were going to hit us with a, yeah, Gary behind bars, I like that, with a 50 basis point. Now, market's not thinking a 50 is going to happen at all. Chris Roberts says, I appreciate you, Klaus. Let's go. Yeah, thanks. Thank you, Chris Roberts. And remember, we've got that empty whiteboard right behind me. I'm going to let you all decide what we should write on the whiteboard. Hey, man, I'm down for anything. You guys know me. I'll draw a penis on Gensler's face if it makes everyone happy. I don't know if you would know it's a dong that I'm drawing because my drawing skills suck. My drawing skills are not as good as Ben's brother. That is a legit drawing that you guys are seeing me over the shoulders. Shadow Smith chimes in, and again, thank you, channel members. Wouldn't make it y'all's jaws drop if he does nothing. If he does nothing, all right, let's talk about. Thank you, Shadow, for that. So, Shadow, here's the deal, and everyone listening. If Jerome Powell does nothing, all right, markets will go green big. I am telling you right now. Markets will go green big if he pauses, because that means the pressure on the banks and from political systems across the globe, because this is now a global issue with the banks. That means that there's going to be pressure on Jerome Powell to say, hey, look, because of the banks, you got to slow it down. I don't know. If we get nothing, it's seriously, if we get nothing, markets will go green. Jerome Powell, I like that one. Hey, we got Ty Clark in the house. Hey, Ty says, Klaus, what's up, sir? Did you get your ears lowered? I actually trimmed the beard just a little bit. I am going to shave this down, though. I am definitely going to shave this down, and I'm going to rock a much tighter mohawk, especially now that we got the warm weather coming in, Ty. Ty and I are super excited because tomorrow it is going to be 80 degrees here. Oh, my God. We're going to be so excited. Oh, man. Draw Gensler loves Warren forever like we used to do in elementary school. If you used to draw Gensler and Warren in elementary school, you got some problems. Because in elementary school, we were drawing little, like, threes that were, upside down so it looked like boobs. And then if we ever got caught, we would take our paper and rotate it and be like, oh, look, see, I was drawing a three. I'm not in trouble. That's what we did in elementary school. Vegan to BB Justin says, XLM to $50 in 5 years or less. Michael Farrell says, hello from Bath City, UK. By the way, check this out. From across the pond, big hitters in the house. You got Ben, Jimbo Tango, Shadow. We got Michael. We got a lot to representation, man. A lot of representation. Ben says, I hope we pump. I make money once we hit 10 pence. Been a long time in the red. It has been. It has been a long, long time. And that's why I was so excited to report the move yesterday. I just hope we have enough steam to do it, man. I hope we got enough steam and we just didn't blow our load early. Because I'll tell you, I've been looking at volume charts and so forth. And Final Ken's in the house. Hamburg, Germany in the house as well. Janos Wagner. Awesome representation, man. Nico here as well. Here's the thing, everyone. What we got to worry about is the Fed just saying F it and just dropping not just a quarter now, but it's his remarks at the end of this. Remember, this is the big one. This isn't just the normal Fed rate hike meeting where Jerome goes on the mic and says, hey, I'm sticking it up here, whatevers. No, this is the big one. This is the one with summary economic projections. If here's the problem. If Jerome Powell comes out and says, hey, look, we're going to raise it 25 basis points, but then he goes on the mic and Jerome Powell's like, yo, bitches, listen up. Daddy's in the house. You don't know the safe word, so I'm going to punish you. I'm going to make it hurt. I'm going to make it hurt so bad to get us back down to that 2.0 target rate that you're going to call me daddy and you're going to beg. That's what we're worried about right now. We're not worried about the quarter basis point. The quarter basis point right now is priced in by the Fed, CME. Like a lot of the people out there in the world, in the market are pricing this in. All right? The bigs out there are pricing this in. What we're worried about, though, is how aggressive Jerome Powell is going to be. What is his rhetoric? What's his demeanor? Is he going to come on the mic stern and go, look, the banks can suck it. We need to get inflation down. If he says stuff like that, forget it, guys. We're going red. We're going red, and I'm just going to get, totally, lit. Seriously. That's the fear right now. The quarter's priced in. This is too much of a gap. Look, when you have a gap like this, this is too big. This is way too big. Oh, what's your safe word, Jerome? Ooh, pass the tip then. Man, it's all about the tip. Jan is chiming in. I'm going to listen and drink beer. Thank you. Enjoy it. South London, UK, Mark DaCosta. I told you guys. Love from across the pond. Michael Farrell chiming in. Michael says, if the Fed ups the rate in the U.S., it'll happen in England. Michael, gold star. Seriously, hey, Ben, Jimbo, all you guys out there in the UK and all that, Ireland, the whole range, man, you guys got some smart people out there. Because you're right. What'll happen is this. If Jerome Powell comes out strong, that then sets the precedent for the UK to do the same thing. Yeah, good call on that one. Way to go, Michael Farrell. Nice shot there. Homie288 says, hey, Klaus, what's up? Hey, you were talking the other day about FedNow, about Volant working with FedNow and Volant Ripple connection. Yeah, that's the whole thing, but does it benefit XRP? If they're using proprietary software, it doesn't benefit at all. I mean, it benefits the company, which is good, and that's awesome. But proprietary stuff does not help us at all. The safe word is wobble. I like that. Titus in the house. Thanks, Toby, by the way. You're the Toby that we like, all right? For all my fans of The Office out there. By the way, guys, real quick, I'm going to do something. Let me chat something or copy something up here. What I need right now, I know, and you guys are going to bug me about this. Give me a split second. I'm going to make a note here. Hold on. I'm trying to do something real quick. Give me like 2 split seconds here. I gotta type out a message real fast. Come on. Sorry, I'm just trying to do this real quick here. Hold on. All right, and for those of you right now, I've been wondering, I am doing protein shakes only for the next 48 hours, all right? If you want to follow that journey, it is pinned up at the top of this chat right here. Subscribe to that channel, help me out. Like I said, I'm doing protein shakes 48 hours. That's all I'm having. It's all part of my training getting ready for Colorado. Oh, look at Sniff chiming in. Nice. Ben says, if we go red, I'm getting pissed. If we go green, I'm getting really pissed. I just think Ben's maybe just not having a good day, everyone. No, Nico, not a bulking phase. I'm actually in a cut right now. I'm in a very heavy cut. Trying to get it down. Like, my abs are starting to come in pretty tight now. I'm getting kind of happy about that. Michael Wheeler says, guys, I did tell him he needs to try Fruity Pebbles. Thank you, Michael, for helping us out there. Protein shakes make me poop. I'll let you guys know. I'm serious. In that second channel, I'm sharing all that kind of stuff. So let me have a quick drink here real quick. Party Farm chimes in. Just got here. Any news? No, nothing yet, Party Farm. Except for the fact that, you know what? I'm glad you brought that up. Here's the issue. That was great. Here's the issue. Stellar rejected at 10 cents. All right? That's a problem. We need to break through that. Just like XRP rejected at 50 cents. Bitcoin rejected at 28.5 time and time again this last week, okay? What we need to see is we need to see some floor action, some support. We cannot break this all the way down and lose this movement. All right, before this move, XLM sub 9 cents. XRP, who made the big move, sub 40 cents. We cannot see XRP, oh, sorry, Ben. No, you're good, man. I just saw Ben's comment. But we cannot see XRP lose it all. We cannot see ourselves erase these gains. If we erase these gains, sorry guys. If we my bad. If we erase these gains, it is going to be just a big hurt for a lot of people. That could shake out a lot of people. I'll be honest with you. If we see that this move here with the whole market now goes back down to where we were before this last pump, I think a lot of people will get broken out of this. Now, we still got a lot of strong holders out there. A lot of you guys that are very dedicated. But I think this will get a lot of people out that just bought on this way up if they get washed. I think that'll really hurt. Southern Custom CC says, sup, what's up to you? Cartoon Circus here in the house. Ben, making sure that I understand the languages. Right, Ben? Chips means chips. 2 different things, right? Toby, Klaus, that's not your abs. It's just wind after all those doggy pills you're popping. No, they're not dog pills. Tonkat Ali, man, it works. Powell, by the way, rate hike announcement comes out in 13 minutes. Let's take a look at the heat map. Bitcoin right now in the green, sitting there at just up 0.8%. Party Farm says we're going to go back down. That's what I'm afraid of. I'm afraid we're going to run out of steam right here. I'm afraid we're going to run out of steam. I just don't know if there's enough capital to break through the negativity. That's really what I am worried about right now. We've got 86%. Thank you. No worries, Calm Precision. Yeah, what was the bottle blocking? I didn't see that. Was it causing glare or something? Sorry, I've got about a 20-second delay between my feedback monitor here, so I didn't know. But yeah, thanks guys for the bottle letting me know. My bad on that one. Oh yeah, but right now markets have since priced in this quarter hit. The big factor though is what Jerome Powell says after the hit. Sniff says, gonna buy a Springfield Hellcat with 5 mags today. Thank you, Sniff, for using mags instead of clips. Thank you very much. By the way, mine holds 20, and that's at standard capacity. Extended capacity, mine holds 27. Just throwing it out there. Mr. Swiper says, what do you take to lose weight? I am big into caffeine. I am also big into watching my macros, and I exercise hardcore. Calories in, calories out, man. That's the best way to lose weight. You want to lose weight? Just burn more calories than what you take in. There is no magic formula. There's things to help you like caffeine. Hydroxycut works, suppress your appetite. Protein shakes. This is Isopure. This is Dutch chocolate. Jana's going to like this one. This is Dutch chocolate. So, let's see. Martin O'Connor says, hey, man, would you risk putting all your XRP on Uphold for the snapshot? No, I would not. C4, yeah. Pre-workout wise, I am very sensitive to caffeine. So like when I take stuff like C4, I would only take like half of it. I have a whole bunch though. I do, avoid Krispy Kremes. That is very, very true. Oh, guys, right now, though, the market is looking nasty in terms of pricing the action in. The rally, everyone, seems frustrating. It seems as if the frustration of the rally is here. Oh, hey, wait a minute. Welshie4948 says, hey, what do you think of the new pitch clock? I know you love baseball. Awesome. I love the pitch clock. Holy crap, I hated it when these guys would go up there, shrug off like 6-7 pitches, then step off the rubber, grab the rosin bags, spotting it up, throwing it. Horrible. Not a fan of that at all. That pisses me off. That really, really pisses me off. Oh, God, I hate that. Down with the pitch clock. I'll let you know how I feel, though, about the bigger bases. For those of you who don't know, Major League Baseball has instituted a couple rules this year, some big ones. No more shift and bigger bases. As long as they don't look cartoonish like video games, I'm down with that. Let's see, what else we got? That one guy, either way, 25 or 50, I think we're going to see some nice red candles. Yeah, I think the candles, man, I think the candles are going to come from Jerome Powell's comments. I really do. That economic projection thing, man, that can hurt. Seriously, think about this. If Jerome Powell says in his tone and in his remarks, here, hold on, I'll do it, right? Hold on, let me do this, guys. And we can do this now that I've changed my studio setup. We can do this. So, like, Jerome Powell comes out, and he's like, hey, you know what? I've got to do whatever I got to do in order to keep inflation under control. We'll support the banks if we have to, but we got to get inflation under control. If Powell says that, markets are going to go red. The move that we just got over this last 24 plus hours, gone. Guarantee you, if Powell comes out hawkish and rough and talking time and time again how we have to get this down, and saying how he's not happy with current rates, market's going to go red, everyone. Market's going to go red. Oh, gosh. Morius02 says, when is the start meeting? The meeting started yesterday, but the actual rate hike announcement comes out in 9 minutes. Jerome Powell comes out on the mic at a half hour at 2:30 Eastern time, which reminds me I should probably put that up on the screen, right? So, oh, there we go. Oh, sorry, I was watching a little risky business. Let's go with the Federal Reserve, everyone. And by the way, why don't you guys do this for me? I get a bunch of people out there new watching, a bunch of current fans, new fans. Oh, look at DC. Love me some DC. Let me know where y'all are from. I've got the Fed screen up right now. We've got a ways to go. They're showing DC. I'm happy about that, guys. I love DC. One of my favorite cities out there. Quarter coming. That's what Zachary's saying. Quarter's coming. And hey, make sure you guys hit that second channel subscribed. It's at the top of the chat. If you want to know about dieting tricks and all that kind of stuff, if you want to know about the hacks. By the way, for those of you that don't know, I used to be like really big into bodybuilding. I even competed at Mr. USA. Yeah, about like 11, 12, 13 years ago or so. So yeah, if you guys want to know about that stuff, my journey, what I trained for, that's found on the second channel. Help me build it up. We're at over 300 subs on that channel. Help me out. Texan in the house. Akron by Lebanon. We're talking about home of who, everyone? LeBron James and AGZ. I got your back, buddy. San Diego votes to pause. Love me some San Diego. Wexford, Ireland. Dusseldorf. Yes, love it. Oregon, West Coast is the best coast, my green fans out there. Shout out to my 420 peeps. Central Michigan in the house. I went to a summer camp in Kalamazoo. Northeast Georgia, Ty, I know where you're at, my good man. New Mexico by Titus. Party Farm says windy and rainy here. Show us some pics of you back in the day. You guys seriously want to see that? Like, you guys legit want to see? I mean, are you guys cool with that? All right, let's do this. All right, this is... So, for those who wondered, like, why I do the second channel, why I do all my training and stuff like that, I used to do bodybuilding, and I absolutely destroyed my shoulder. I mean, completely. Surgery on my shoulder. I still have to get surgery on my other shoulder. But this was me at Mr. USA in 2009. We got Denmark chiming in, Oregon, Holland in the house. Yo, my good man. Cheers from Croatia. Mech 420 peeps in the house as well. So yes, that second channel that I'm talking about, that's where I show you guys like all my training stuff. I destroyed my shoulder. I totally imploded it. Kurt Angle status. I was jacked to the gills. So now I'm just working out, trying to get ready for mountain climbing and all that kind of fun stuff. But yeah, that's found on the second channel. Seriously, guys, consider subscribing. It's linked, or it's pinned up at the top of the chat for everyone. Markets right now are red for the alts, positive for Bitcoin. Party Farms laughing. He's like, oh crap. Johnny says, wow, that's impressive. Thank you very much. Final Ken's right outside of Philly. Ken's is a Cash fan. Knife and Compass says, holy crap, dude, you look crazy. Yeah, I was jacked back in the day. I severely destroyed my shoulder. Actually, I destroyed my shoulder. I destroyed my shoulder actually getting ready for Mr. USA, and I destroyed it about it was about 4 months out where I was at from the show. And when I destroyed my shoulder, I knew that it was like done. Like I knew I would never bodybuild again because it was a very severe injury. So I actually trained. What's up, Twitch Radio in the house? TYO tons and tons. But what happened was I kept training. And because I knew it was my last show, so I did that whole training thing all the way through to Mr. USA with a broken collarbone, a completely separated AC joint, a dislocated shoulder. I mean, that went back in. Total mess, guys. Total mess. Lake Park, Florida. Mo Mess says, greetings, Klaus from London. Max says, blew my shoulder out as well. Calisthenics for me. No, not my rotator cuff. No, it wasn't that. It was AC joint is gone. I have the last inch of my collarbone has been cut off completely, so I don't have a connection here. So like that's not connected this way. So yeah, not really too cool. I had a tear in my AC joint as well, and I had a whole bunch of tears all throughout here that they had to fix. So yeah, it was a lot of fun, man. A lot of fun. So right now we are looking at the market. ETH 1753. 0% is not possible. That's true. That is not true. It is not impossible. XRP moving back, guys. How are you guys bummed out there? Are you bummed, or are you thinking, hey, we got more opportunity to buy? Wesley asks, how did you do it? How did I do what? Ask specifically, how did I do what? Eric is looking out for the long term. Eric is saying, no, we need to do a 50 to kill inflation. Eric is talking about ripping the Band-Aid now. Eric is also a fan, all right, of there's no such thing as too big to bail out, all right? What Eric is saying, all right, is that you need to keep inflation in control, or else long-term wise, it'll bite you in the butt. Opportunity at 100. Sniff says, what's the most palm outward pull-ups you can do at one time? I haven't tried those in a long time. Hey, Jeezy says, me too, AC joint. Yeah, I had a huge tear in my AC joint. I actually have the surgery photos. It's really cool. They stuck this big, like you guys have seen arthroscopic surgery. I had 6 incisions and then a real big one I've got on the top of my shoulder. And they went in, all the stuff they cleaned out was really cool. It took me years to recover though, man. Alex is from England. Final Ken says, that's what I'm saying, man. Oh, how did I tear my shoulder? I tear my shoulder training. Very, very excessive usage of performance-enhancing drugs. Excessive usage. In my off season, I was 5'7", 270 pounds. On stage here, this was me at 198 pounds. This was me on stage with my shoulder completely destroyed. We got 2 minutes until the feds come out with their decision. As soon as you see it, please share. I would love to see this information drop. I will keep refreshing the Fed page. We are going to see what happens. And remember, 450 to 475 is 0. 475 to 500 is quarter basis point hit. All right, what's on the board, Klaus? Running out of time. I know we're waiting. We're getting anxious here. We're looking for the Fed. We're waiting for it. We're all waiting to see what comes out of the Fed. Are we going to get some juicy goodness? You know, I don't know what my body fat was. I don't know. I was low, dude. I was real low for the USAs. But I did have a lot of problem, though, when I competed for the pain I was in was insane. The pain was insane, man. I cannot explain that to you guys, how bad that was. The pain was just rough. Waiting for the Fed announcement. I've got several windows up. I've got one right here. We got another one from Leeds in the house. Lots of love from Leeds in the house. I think it's like the second or third Leeds fan I've seen. Not Leeds fan, lives in Leeds. Might be probably a Leeds fan too, right? All right, let's see. Fed rate hike. Sorry, I'm just, I've got a different setup over here as well. So let me go on to this right here, and I'm just going to keep refreshing, waiting for it to go. Let me know if you guys see anything from the Fed. We'll see what they say. Hold on, everyone. I'm just looking right now, waiting for it. As soon as you guys see it in the chat, please hit it up out there. We're waiting for any minute right now for the Fed rate to come out. And remember, the rate hike, all right, will come out at 2 with Jerome Powell and the Fed talking at 2:30. Safe words. Yes, that's what we're talking about right now. Safe words. All right, here we go. Let's get the notes. Have you guys seen it just yet? I'm looking, trying to see. The committee decided to raise the target Fed rates funds. They have raised it 1/4 basis percentage point. I have the notice right here from the Feds. The committee seeks to achieve maximum employment and inflation at the rate. Get ready for the market to go red, guys, when Jerome Powell talks. Yep, I've got it. The committee seeks to achieve maximum employment and inflation at the rate of 2% over the long run. In support of these goals, the committee decided to raise the target range for federal funds rate 4.75% to 5%. There we go. We've got a quarter basis point right now priced into the market. That is a quarter basis point, all right? Oof, man. Twitch says I'm more worried about them turning on the money printer. I'm with you on that. Daddy Powell hits us in the face with the basis. Yeah, quarter point is what hit, everyone. Quarter point. Make sure you hit that like button and share this. We've got 400 of you watching the live stream right now. Make sure you share this and hit that like button. 25 is Shadow Smith. It's not about the 20. We knew the 20 was here. The harm comes from the summary of economic projections, okay? This is a special meeting, everyone, because they're going to be talking about goals, monetary policy strategy, all that kind of stuff. That is big. All right? So summary of economic projections, we've got it live on the screen. You guys love me because guess what I got? Economic projections. You guys want a deep dive? You guys want your brains to explode? Let's do it. All right, so here are the summary of economic projections from the Fed. Fed is basically saying GDP is going to be slow. We know that. 2023 slow GDP, 2024 still slow. They're saying back half of 2024 is when we're going to start seeing some relief. Thank you, Bull Runner. Bull Runner says he'll share. Oh, and please, it's free, and it totally helps me out with passion projects and my life outside of crypto. Consider subscribing to that channel up above in the chat. I would really, really like it. Unemployment. Look at the Fed here. Check this out, everyone. Here's the big one. All right, we're gonna need to talk about this. We're gonna have to draw this one here. Look at this right here. All right, this is what the market's digesting right now, okay? What's happening right now is everyone who got this, who's reading this, everyone who's a market person right now, is going to do exactly this. They're going to go into these. Eric, I'm with you, man. All right, here we go. Here's the problem. Look at this. The Fed is saying that unemployment is going to increase in 2024. So they know their actions are going to increase unemployment. Now, target rate at 2, okay, that's this right here. The Fed is saying that inflation is going to be high all the way to the end of 2024. That tells me, okay, that tells me that we're looking at least the rest of this year and a good chunk of next year getting into nasty, nasty action. Veronica says, I'm one of Crypto Hoax moderators. We cover XRP all day, every day. Great to see you in the house, Veronica. Love it. We had a quarter basis point come in. Now let's look at core. Same idea. We're going to be dealing with core inflation high in 2024. All right, now let's start talking some spreads, everyone, and what we're looking at. God, this is going to take some time. All right, so here's the deal. All right. Midpoint target range. You've got a lot of people in the Fed here that say we're looking at longer run getting to where we need to be. Look at this. Look at the number down here. Look at this. This is the number of people here that are saying, hey, this is where we're going to be in the long run of after 2025. 2025, the Fed is still saying we're going to have some issues. The members are there. You have some members thinking that inflation is going to be a pain. But look at this. 2024, when you scroll up, the majority of the Fed does not think conditions will be that strong in 2024, with the majority of the Fed saying again in 2023, we've got action. Wow, interesting stuff. Just looking at the projection, seeing if anything pops out. If you guys got questions, man, let me know. I'm just reading this, digesting this now as this broke. Markets care to what Lord Powell say. 25 basis points was given. Nico, that's exactly right. That's why we look at the CME tool. Thanks, Veronica, by the way. I greatly appreciate it. Veronica, Crypto Hulk moderator in the house. Let's show Veronica some love here. By the way, we got 420 fans watching the channel. Shout out 420 peeps. We knew the quarter was in. But now, everyone, we got to start looking for the next month. Oh, man, this is going to be a mess. But let's get back to that Fed action here. Hold on a second here. Let me get back to the Fed. All right, so here we go. I'm just looking to see if any of this data pops out and kind of scares me a little bit. I'm going to want to get to the trend charts. I can get through these. Okay. Distribution of projections. All right, hold on. There's a specific chart I'm looking for. All right, GDP slow growth. Check it out. Here's your confidence intervals with GDP. What you want to pay attention to is this. Look at this. This is GDP growth, okay? This is very important. The Fed, the majority of the Fed, look at how little growth that they're expecting. That's the 70% confidence interval. So if you take that line and you divide it through, right? You bisect it. You come up with your confidence. Look at the under part, though. There's a lot. They're just saying that we're not going to get big GDP in a good amount of time. That's essentially what they're saying. All right, look at the time frame. This is what's going to have everyone concerned. Mid 2024 is when our GDP seems to be around 1.5. They're saying at the end of 2024, GDP will get back to normal. So the Fed is telling us right now we've got, 18 months of this, 20 months of this crap. Come on, man. Let's see what else we got here. We're going to have more of this stuff. Confidence interval, yeah, we can get past that. No one's going to dive on that. Inflation, same thing. Look, they're saying you're not going to get inflation down to that 2.0 target range, most likely by mid-2025. Crazy stuff, man. Crazy stuff. Twitch says, anyways, got to go. Take it easy, man. By the way, drop a song beat this morning. Thanks, I made it for the channel. Thank you, Twitch. Hey, Twitch, next time you drop a beat, let me know. We'll put it up on the live stream, dude. As long as you don't, like, copyright strike me. I'd be cool with that. Just giving you shit, dude. Thanks, by the way, Eric, for hitting me up, man. Michael's got it right. Hit that like button. Show me some love. All right, everyone. So now we're going to be watching to see what the market does. Things, we're waiting for the comments. So let's do this. You guys want to get real crazy? Let's just zoom in. Let's see when the announcement was made of the rate hike. Let's see if there was action not priced in. I mean, see, look, everyone expected it. There you go. There's your volume move right there. That was done. That was an obvious one, right? Let's see if XLM did the same thing up on that action. We'll zoom in real close to see if there was a pop at the hike itself. Nah, not really. Not really. Nothing really big happening there. Kleinsky, new member in the house. Thanks as always, Kleinsky. You are very welcome. I am a Springfield Armory fan, just throwing it out there. D Chrome J says, I want to get real crazy. How crazy do you want to get, man? How crazy? Markets right now are waiting for Jerome Powell and the Fed to come out in 22 minutes. But the big thing right now is that we could not hold the prices, everyone. Very frustrating. This last move on up that we saw with XLM and specifically XRP. Let's just talk XRP super fast here because XRP made the move. Yeah, Twitch, you just gotta let me know which one would be a good one. I'll gladly do it. Whenever we do these, let me know, dude. If Twitch provides the music, man, I'll give you a shout out. I got no problem with that. Thank you, Eric. What bothers me is this. If we continue on the path that we're doing now, you're gonna see XRP get back to that sub 40 in about a day. In about a day. That's not good, man. That is not good. Shout out to Shadow Smith. Fully retired next week and looking forward to it. Nice. Ben, supporter of the channel, super supporter. OG member, by the way, guys. OG member, dropping a big 20 hit. As customary, anyone that does a donation, super chat for the channel, we all have to say thank you. So everyone, please say thank you to Ben because anything that happens donation-wise supports the channel. It supports all of us in the community. With Roman Empire coming in right there, dropping in another one. And again, let's give Roman Empire a shout out and thank you as well for the super chat, super chank, super sticker donation. Oh, by the way, real quick, everyone. Hey, Ben, guys, with Ben just doing the donation right here, I just wanted to take a quick second and I wanted to show you guys something. This is something that means a lot to me, okay? I'm gonna get a little deep here just so you guys can see what I'm talking about. And you guys are actually looking at my feedback monitor up here. I'm gonna leave that up on the screen because I have no delay on my feedback. But again, super shout out to Roman Empire and Ben. But check it out, guys. See this up here? This is an actual legit picture. And this is from Ben's brother. He drew this for me. And I've had it in my living room for like a really, really long time. And you can see the Stellar logo on there. I've had it in my living room for like a really, really long time. Or not living room, Jesus Christ, dining room. Maybe the protein shakes are getting to me, guys. But I've had it in my dining room for a really long time. And I got motivation yesterday. Let me hang this up. Yep, there we go. I got motivation yesterday to change up my studio, and my wife was like, you know, you always talk about that thing, and we got Paul here, wig busted in the house, and my wife was like, dude, why don't you put that in the studio when you redo your studio? And I was like, dude, that's a great idea. So, yeah, everyone, make sure you say thanks to Ben and to Roman, and, like, legit, dude, check that out. Like, that now is hanging out in the studio. We're going to have it here for all of you guys to see. I know, I love the picture, too. Quantum said that. That is so cool. And, guys, seriously, any of the donations for the channel are big team effort here with all you guys. It is greatly appreciated. Let me wet my whistle here. Give me one quick second. Let me grab a drink. By the way, protein shake, ISO Pure, Dutch chocolate. Want to know about it? Second channel. All right. Let me just get a quick swig here. AV chimes in. So is this good or bad for crypto? Here's the thing, AV. The quarter basis point was priced in. All right? There's this tool, this CME FedWatch tool. Ben is Wigbuster's brother, just throwing it out there. But there's this tool, most of the market had a quarter priced in. So, like, for those of you out there that, like, want more insight onto trade and to know, like, you know how sometimes the market moves and you're not really sure why? Well, the market will price in action ahead of time as news develops. So if you watch a tool like this and you start watching the delta, that's telling you if the market's going to move more negative or positive depending upon the rate hike expectation. So for those of you out there that like to trade, seriously consider entering the CME group tool for the FedWatch in your portfolio of available tools to use. It's like I said, they're really, really close, man. They're really, really close accuracy wise. And it really helps you out with trends, man. Really helps you out with trends. Lee says, love the picture. Nice to see UK in the middle. Yeah, that's actually right. What I love about the picture is it's looking down on Europe, and obviously with a name like Klaus Jürgen, you guys know what my background is, German as all could be. Oh, by the way, for all my German fans out there, Bundesliga team, you guys are gonna like this. Bundesliga team flag signed by everyone on SPVGG Firth. This was from the 1950s. How freaking cool is that, soccer fans? But anyways, the market right now, it's not about what's good for the market right now. It's about what Jerome Powell says in 16 minutes. Jerome Powell is going to be on the mic in 16 minutes. And at that time, it's all about what he says. How rough is he going to be? That's what we're all looking for right now. All right? Yeah, AV, no worries, dude. No worries at all. And what the big fear is with Jerome Powell, right? The big fear is that Jerome Powell says, and I'm sure you guys have all been dealing with bonds and banks, all right? And we got 14 minutes real quick. Do you guys want to talk about bonds and banks? If you guys want to talk about bonds and banks, let me know. We got 14 minutes and Jerome Powell comes on the mic. If you guys want to learn about bonds and banks and why we're having so many problems, I'll gladly talk to you guys and explain it to you, and I'll be able to explain it. But basically, AV, here's the problem, man. The problem we got is if Jerome Powell comes out there and says, you know what? F the bonds, F the bond market, F the banks. We're going to print money and we're going to bail out banks at the same time as raising rates. If that happens, long-term, everyone, we are so screwed. We are so inflationary screwed, it's not even funny. Totally funny. Oh, no, Kleinsky, I could do this easy. I could do this easily in 15 minutes, dude. Legit. I could do this in 5. You guys want to see it? You guys want to see it? Right? You guys want to know how banks? Michael Farrell asked how many more banks are in trouble? Over 180 as of the most recent data. 180 over 180. All right, let's talk bonds. All right, you guys ready? All right, let's do this real quick. All right, let's talk bonds. All right, here's the problem. Before Rona time, okay, when the markets were acting normal, banks would have money. Banks do not put their money into pillowcases, right? They put their money into bonds. They put your money into bonds. They put money into bonds, okay? It just doesn't sit there. That money has to earn something, okay? So a couple years ago, before Rona, before the pandemic, okay, what happened was this. What happened was, and you know what? I'll shrink my screen. Sorry about that, guys. I'll shrink my screen here real quick. Give me a second. So what happened was before when the Rona and all that happened, banks were getting these bonds, okay? And when the banks were getting these bonds, they were getting these bonds at 1%, all right? So the billions and billions that all these banks, and this is banks across the globe, all right? This is not just U.S. problem. This is banks all over. So all that money that banks had, they put their money in these bonds. So they put billions and billions of dollars in that bonds that paid them 1%. That was the yield, was 1%. Well, the bond market goes up every time Jerome Powell and the Fed F with things. Well, the bond market right now is paying over 5%, all right? So these banks, right? Think of all the banks across the globe that bought bonds at that 1% when the world was normal, okay? And now a short time later, super short time, just a couple years later, bonds are 5%. So now all of these banks need money, right? You guys have heard about the cash crunch. You guys know what I'm talking about right there. Cash crunch, right? All of these banks need money. Green. See how cool I can now switch out the lights in my room real easy. These banks need money because there's a run on money. There's no confidence in the banking system. So these banks have to sell their bonds. Not a big deal. Normally, this is not a big deal. We can get through this. That's not the problem. But these banks that bought bonds at a 1% rate, when they go to sell the bonds, people are like, dude, are you stupid? I don't want your bond. I can go take my money and get a 5% bond right now. Why do I want your stupid 1% piece of crap? So now the billions and billions and billions of dollars that's tied up into 1% bonds, we have to wait for those bonds to mature. Once they mature, you get your money, your yield, you can then reinvest it. You're good to go. But if the banks are on a cash run and people need their cash and are taking it out, banks have to sell those bonds. Now, the billions and billions of dollars that's in at 1% bonds aren't worth shit now. Yeah, no one wants it, guys. No one wants bonds that pay 1% right now because bond markets are paying over 5%. So these bonds are worth shit, and I mean like nothing. So these banks are sitting here with billions and billions of dollars of bonds that aren't worth billions anymore. Maybe they're worth half. So that's why the Fed had the emergency meeting over the previous weekend with Yellen and was like, look, we'll bail out bonds. We'll print $300 billion more to give banks money to get them through this because we screwed them over by jacking rates up so fast. And because the Feds jacked the rates up so fast, that gap happened so quickly that the bond market couldn't catch up. All the bonds that were in that people are cashing out right now aren't worth shit, man. So if you're a bank and you're in deep trouble, you've got, let's say, $1 billion bond, and it's at 1%, that $1 billion bond is probably fetching right now 50 basis points. You just lost $500 million, and people are taking money out on your bank. That's why the Fed said, hey, we're going to keep printing money. That's why not only the Fed, but 6 banks across the globe, UK Central Bank, European Central Bank, they all said the same thing. They said, we're going to bail banks out. And Kleinsky, thank you. Risky bets on the taxpayer's dime. That's exactly what's happening. That's exactly what's happening. This is the problem. It's the bond market spread is so big, and every time Jerome Powell jacks up rates real quick, that gap gets bigger and bigger. So all of these bonds, all right, all of these bonds right here, like we're talking billions, guys. I mean billions with the capital B with zeros added. These bonds are worth shit. So what the Fed said is we're going to temporarily print money to get these banks through this crunch until their bonds can expire and we can get them back into normal rates. That's why the banks are so messed up. That's why the market is freaking out right now, because it's not the quarter basis point. It's the fact that if Jerome Powell keeps raising rates, what's going to happen is the bond gap is going to increase. When the bond gap increases, the Fed is going to have to print more money to bail out more banks. When the Fed prints more money, inflation happens. When inflation happens, what happens, everyone? The Fed has to raise rates, just like they did today. So the Fed raises rates. What happens to the bond gap? It gets bigger. You get into what's known as a death spiral, in a thing you can't get out of. That's the big problem. So for those of you out there, that was your 8-minute lesson on the bond market. I told you I could do it faster than 15 minutes. And I bet a whole bunch of you out there right now are understanding the bond market and the bond market get better, and why every time Jerome Powell raises rates, not only does it crush the economy, but it screws the taxpayers because they have to print more money to cover the gap that they made problem-wise in the first place. Nan2Trust4 says, worst administration ever. Yeah, the complete financial irresponsibility right now, and we're paying it. Daryl says, how long are most terms for banks? They will go anywhere from 3 years, 6 months, a year, 5, and 10. You see them ranged in that, and it all depends on their liquidity needs and what their rotation of bonds is. If you have a very highly speculative market, right, like kind of like what we're in right now, you're going to see a lot of bond notes very low. All right, you're going to see a lot of bond notes, not speculative. I don't mean low, but you're going to see low in like short-term rates, right? Because you're like, wait a minute, if the Fed's going to keep raising rates, why would I want to sign a 1-year bond? No. Let me wait for them to raise it a few more times. And that's what I'm saying. So this is a big problem. How about the blonde market? Man, the blonde market, I'm more of a redhead fan, just throwing it out there. Sniff says, Klaus, would you rather have 1 Bitcoin or 65,000 XRP? I'll do you one better. Give me a half a Bitcoin and 30,000 XRP. Give me half and half. That way I'm not putting my eggs all in one basket. The thing that I like about Bitcoin, guys, and I'm not a maxi, trust me, I'm not a maxi, but when it comes to like regulation and all that kind of stuff, you can't go after someone for Bitcoin. And for a lot of countries out there, that's going to be their biggest thing stopping them from restricting Bitcoin. That's why they're going after Bitcoin so hardcore when it comes to energy. They can't go after the Bitcoin organization, but what they could do is they could go after the downstream miners that use energy for Bitcoin mining. Man, this is like a total legit education session happening today. Holy shit, you guys. Toby says, Klaus, the thing that gets my goat, all the treasuries, banks, etc., all knew this before they printed the money. I know, Toby, it's kick the can, man. It's kick the can. It's just, and that's the problem with the United States is you've got a lot of people right now in the administration that have never run businesses before. So they don't understand that, no, you can't just keep printing money because that problem is going to come bite you. That's what a Ponzi scheme is essentially, right? You got new money coming in to pay old debts. That's what the U.S. government is doing, printing new money to pay old debts. The U.S. government's a Ponzi scheme. We know how Ponzi schemes work. They work great. I've got that in quotes. Come on, don't flame me. Yo, don't flame me. And remember, we got the empty whiteboard if you guys want to let me know what we should put on there. But think about it. That's what a Ponzi scheme is, right? New money comes in, pays off old debts. What is the U.S. government doing? What did the Fed just do? Printed $300 billion in new money to pay off old debts, old bond gap. That's a problem. Simone Spencer says, this is very informative stream every time. Great work. Thank you. Well, thank you, Simone. I appreciate that. Nice compliments do a good thing too, guys. It's not just the super chats and donations, but nice things like Simone said right there make a day too. Thank you, Simone. That's putting a little smile on me. Thank you. I like reading that. Red Production says, what would be the solution for the Fed? What should they be doing? Greetings from Netherlands. Thank you, Red Production. Here's the problem with the Fed. The problem with the Fed started long ago. Right now, they're in catch-up phase. All right? That's the problem. What the Fed should have done a while ago was stopped printing money when all of us in the public were saying it. There was a bunch of us out there saying it. We were like, yo, we don't need a forced stimulus check. We don't need that. Like, whoa. We don't need this kind of stuff. You don't need to keep bailing out these zombie companies. Let some of them fall. Yeah, I got you, Shib, on the light board. Yep, I'll get you. Give me a second. Here you go. I got Shib up on the screen, my man. You got it, Lee. So that's the problem. So what the Fed should do now, it's going to sound hard, and you guys aren't going to like this answer. The Fed should start letting things fall. How do you fix a problem if you keep bailing someone? And I'm not saying this, okay? Put some end of the month predictions on the whiteboard. Ooh, I like that. I like that. Yeah. We could do that. End of the month predictions on the whiteboard. All right. Let's go. We got XRP here. Ooh, hey there, guys. We got XRP. We got XLM. All right, what are you guys thinking for the end of the month? XRP, XLM, we'll write it up on there. But what the Fed has to do is they have to let some of the stuff fail. For anyone out there, and I'm not like getting up on like a soapbox, but anyone out there that's done with like addiction, and I'm not trying to like pry into anything personal, but like anyone that's dealt with someone that's like gone through addiction. I had a very, very close girlfriend, like years ago, oh my God, like 20 plus years ago, that dealt with addiction really bad. And her family kept enabling her, okay? They kept enabling because they didn't want her to fall. And every time she tried to like come clean, you know what I'm saying? Like she would stumble, right? Her parents would give her money, stuff like that. This is when we were teens, okay? And so anyways, her parents just kept enabling her. The problem got worse and worse. Well, the same thing is happening with the U.S. government. Oh, Michael, we're going to start talking soon, maybe even singing. Darrelson ripped the Band-Aid off. But that's the thing. The Fed, you can't keep enabling. You can't keep enabling bad business practice. You can't keep printing money to supplement bad problems. Eric knows what I'm talking about. Eric knows exactly what I'm talking about. You got to let some of the stuff fail. And the reason you need it to fail is for two reasons. It is a hard lesson. Trust me. It is a hard lesson. The problem you got is you need it to fail to stop the stuff from happening again. Sometimes you have to let your kid fall and scrape their knee so they learn not to do that stupid jumping from the couch to couch again, right? You guys know how that works. That's what we got to do in the government. Ben is saying XRP at 60 cents and XLM at 18. Ooh. Ben, you're bullish on XRP. Are you thinking then, Ben, that we're going to have an XRP settlement or ruling by the end of the month? Sorry, ruling more so. My bad on that, guys. Let me know. That's very bullish on XRP based on the fact that the lawsuit is still going on. Kleinsky chimes in, realistically, how safe are markets in the USA with the SEC's re-markets? They seem to be setting up the narrative your crypto is not protective. Yeah, I mean, the problem with the Fed is caving in to monetary policy of supporting everyone, and that's not how it works. It is a great concept. We all want to support everyone, but A, not everyone wants to be supportive. B, not everyone's easy to support. And C, even the people that you do support, they squander those opportunities. The U.S., everyone in the world right now. Yeah. S. Rawlings, thank you, dude. Thank you. S. Rawlings said it. The U.S. dollar is like fairy dust. Sprinkle it everywhere to fix everything. The problem is, once you do a little dust ain't going to do it. Then you got to do a little bit more and more. Then you got to do a little bit more dust just to feel normal. Then you're doing a lot of dust to feel normal. See the addiction part. That's what I'm talking about with money printing, guys, gals. Polkor, yes, the Fed came out with a 25 basis point hit, guys. 25. Ben says no, but rumors will drive it if the markets stay green. XRP 88, XLM 15, $1.50, XRP 15 cents XLM. Emails. Just saying, hey fam. 25, yeah, 25, yeah. If 50 would crash the market, we didn't get that. We got a 25. Oh man, this is rough, guys. This is very rough stuff here with the markets. Jerome Powell is going to be coming on the mic. When he comes on the mic, you guys do me a favor if you don't mind. Let me know how the sound is, and I could, obviously change that if you get what I'm saying. Jerome Powell. Did I just hold on? Sorry, I want to make sure that I've got everything right before I go full screen and blow out. Just waiting for Jerome. Here we go, guys. I'm gonna talk until he gets on the mic. But what I'm going to do, though, I'm gonna remove my camera. Let me know, you guys, if you don't mind, how the sound is once he is up on the Mizike. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna overlay a second. Hold on here. I'm gonna overlay a second heat map right here. So let's copy this. Let's open up a second one. We're gonna overlay it. That way we can watch the heat map, geez, Klaus, while Jerome Powell and the Fed are talking. I'm getting better and better at this, everyone. I'm trying my best. I'm definitely new at this. My business skills are probably better than my YouTube skills. But are you guys cool with this view right here? Is this cool? Waiting for Powell to come up on the mic. Ben says XRP roughly 3.5 higher. All right, waiting for Jerome Powell markets. And remember, he's going to be talking big about this stuff right here. Big into this stuff right here. Inflation junk. Sorry. Oh, here he is. Star Wars music. Dun, 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 dun.
Good afternoon. Before discussing today's meeting, let me briefly address recent developments in the banking sector. In the past 2 weeks, serious difficulties at a small number of banks have emerged. History has shown that isolated banking problems, if left unaddressed, can undermine confidence in healthy banks and threaten the ability of the banking system as a whole to play its vital role in supporting the savings and credit needs of households and businesses. That is why, in response to these events, the Federal Reserve, working with the Treasury Department and the FDIC, took decisive actions to protect the U.S. economy and to strengthen public confidence in our banking system. These actions demonstrate that all depositors' savings and the banking system are safe. With the support of the Treasury, the Federal Reserve Board created the Bank Term Funding Program to ensure that banks that hold safe and liquid assets can, if needed, borrow reserves against those assets at par. This program, along with our long-standing discount window, is effectively meeting the unusual funding needs that some banks have faced and makes clear that ample liquidity in the system is available. Our banking system is sound and resilient with strong capital and liquidity. We will continue to closely monitor conditions in the banking system and are prepared to use all of our tools as needed to keep it safe and sound. In addition, we are committed to learning the lessons from this episode and to work to prevent events like this from happening again. Turning to the broader economy and monetary policy, inflation remains too high and the labor market continues to be very tight. My colleagues and I understand the hardship that high inflation is causing, and we remain strongly committed to bringing inflation back down to our 2% goal. Price stability is the responsibility of the Federal Reserve. Without price stability, the economy does not work for anyone. In particular, without price stability, we will not achieve a sustained period of strong labor market conditions that benefit all. The U.S. economy slowed significantly last year, with real GDP rising at a below-trend pace of 0.9%. Consumer spending appears to have picked up this quarter, although some of that strength may reflect the effects of swings in the weather across the turn of the year. In contrast, activity in the housing sector remains weak, largely reflecting higher mortgage rates. Higher interest rates and slower output growth also appear to be weighing on business fixed investment. Committee participants generally expect subdued growth to continue. As shown in our summary of economic projections, the median projection for real GDP growth stands at just 0.4% this year and 1.2% next year, well below the median estimate of the longer-run normal growth rate. And nearly all participants see the risks to GDP growth as weighted to the downside. Yet the labor market remains extremely tight. Job gains have picked up in recent months, with employment rising by an average of 351,000 jobs per month over the last 3 months. The unemployment rate remained low in February at 3.6%. The labor force participation rate has edged up in recent months, and wage growth has shown some signs of easing. However, with job vacancies still very high, labor demand substantially exceeds the supply of available workers. FOMC participants expect supply and demand conditions in the labor market to come into better balance over time, easing upward pressures on wages and prices. The median unemployment rate projection in the SEP rises to 4.5% at the end of this year and 4.6% at the end of next year. Inflation remains well above our longer-run goal of 2%. Over the 12 months ending in January, total PCE prices rose 5.4%, excluding the volatile food and energy categories. Excluding those, core PCE prices rose 4.7%. In February, the 12-month change in the CPI came in at 6%, and the change in the core CPI was 5.5%. Inflation has moderated somewhat since the middle of last year, but the strength of these recent readings indicates that inflation pressures continue to run high. The median projection in the SEP for total PCE inflation is 3.3% for this year, 2.5% next year, and 2.1% in 2025. The process of getting inflation back down to 2% has a long way to go and is likely to be bumpy. Despite elevated inflation, longer-term inflation expectations appear to remain well anchored, as reflected in a broad range of surveys of households, businesses, and forecasters, as well as measures from financial markets. The Fed's monetary policy actions are guided by our mandate to promote maximum employment and stable prices for the American people. My colleagues and I are acutely aware that high inflation imposes significant hardship as it erodes purchasing power, especially for those least able to meet the higher costs of essentials like food, housing, and transportation. We are highly attentive to the risks that high inflation poses to both sides of our mandate, and we are strongly committed to returning inflation to our 2% objective. At today's meeting, the committee raised the target range for the federal funds rate by a quarter percentage point, bringing the target range to 4.75% to 5%. And we are continuing the process of significantly reducing our securities holdings. Since our previous FOMC meeting, economic indicators have generally come in stronger than expected, demonstrating greater momentum in economic activity and inflation. We believe, however, that events in the banking system over the past 2 weeks are likely to result in tighter credit conditions for households and businesses, which would in turn affect economic outcomes. It is too soon to determine the extent of these effects, and therefore too soon to tell how monetary policy should respond. As a result, we no longer state that we anticipate that ongoing rate increases will be appropriate to quell inflation. Instead, we now anticipate that some additional policy firming may be appropriate. We will closely monitor incoming data and carefully assess the actual and expected effects of tighter credit conditions on economic activity, the labor market, and inflation. And our policy decisions will reflect that assessment. In our SEP, each FOMC participant wrote down an appropriate path for the federal funds rate based on what that participant judges to be the most likely scenario going forward. If the economy evolves as projected, the median participant projects that the appropriate level of the federal funds rate will be 5.1% at the end of this year, 4.3% at the end of 2024, and 3.1% at the end of 2025. These are little changed from our December projections, reflecting offsetting factors. These projections are not a committee decision or plan. If the economy does not evolve as projected, the path for policy will adjust as appropriate to foster our maximum employment and price stability goals. We will continue to make our decisions meeting by meeting based on the totality of the incoming data and their implications for the outlook for economic activity and inflation. We remain committed to bringing inflation back down to our 2% goal and to keep longer-term inflation expectations well anchored. Reducing inflation is likely to require a period of below-trend growth and some softening in labor market conditions. Restoring price stability is essential to set the stage for achieving maximum employment and stable prices over the longer run. To conclude, we understand that our actions affect communities, families, and businesses across the country. Everything we do is in service to our public mission. We at the Fed will do everything we can to achieve our maximum employment and price stability goals. Thank you. I look forward to your questions.
Thank you. Colby Smith with the Financial Times. How confident is the committee that the recent stress that we've seen and you've alluded to is contained at this point, and that deposit flight among mid-sized lenders in particular has ceased?
Thanks. So I guess our view is that the banking system is sound and it's resilient. It's got strong capital and liquidity. We took powerful actions with Treasury and the FDIC, which demonstrate that all depositors' savings are safe and that the banking system is safe. Deposit flows in the banking system have stabilized over the last week. And the last thing I'll say is that we're undertaking a thorough internal review that will identify where we can strengthen supervision and regulation.
Okay, just a quick follow-up. I mean, given all of the stress and the uncertainty that you've also alluded to in the statement, how seriously was a pause considered for this meeting?
So we did consider that in the days running up to the meeting, and you see the decision that we made, which I'll say a couple things about. First, it was supported by a very strong consensus, and I'll be happy to explain why. And really it is that the intermeeting data on inflation and the labor market came in stronger than expected, and really before the recent events, we were clearly on track to continue with ongoing rate hikes. In fact, as of a couple of weeks ago, it looked like we'd need to raise rates over the course of the year, more than we'd expected at the time of the SEP in December, the time of the December meeting. We are committed to restoring price stability, and all of the evidence says that the public has confidence that we will do so, that we'll bring inflation down to 2% over time. It is important that we sustain that confidence with our actions as well as our words. So we also assess, as I mentioned, that the events of the last 2 weeks are likely to result in some tightening of credit conditions for households and businesses, and thereby weigh on demand, on the labor market, and on inflation. Such a tightening in financial conditions would work in the same direction as rate tightening. In principle, as a matter of fact, you can think of it as being the equivalent of a rate hike, or perhaps more than that. Of course, it's not possible to make that assessment today with any precision whatsoever. So our decision was to move ahead with a 25 basis point hike and to change our guidance, as I mentioned, from ongoing hikes to some additional hikes some policy firming may be appropriate. So going forward, as I mentioned, in assessing the need for further hikes, we'll be focused, as always, on the incoming data and the evolving outlook, and in particular on our assessment of the actual and expected effects of credit tightening.
Mr. Chairman, can you explain the difference between ongoing rate increases and firming? Does firming imply a rate increase per se, or could policy firm without you increasing rates?
No, I think it's meant to refer to our policy rate. Really, I would focus on the words may and some, as opposed to ongoing. So we clearly what we were doing there was taking on board trying to reflect the uncertainty about what will happen. I mean, it's possible that this will turn out to have very modest effects. These events will turn out to be very, very modest effects on the economy, in which case, and inflation will continue to be strong, in which case, the path will might look different. It's also possible that this potential tightening will contribute significant tightening in credit conditions over time, and in principle, if that means that monetary policy may have less work to do. We simply don't know. So.
Do you have concerns that the hike you did today could further exacerbate the problem in the banks?
No, I mean, with our monetary policy, we're really focused on macroeconomic outcomes. In particular, we're focused on this potential credit tightening and what can that produce in the way of tighter credit conditions. I think when we think about the situation in the banks, we're focused on our financial stability tools, in particular, our lending facilities, the discount window, and also the new facility.
Nick Timmeros of the Wall Street Journal. Chair Powell, in your testimony 2 weeks ago, you had indicated you thought the terminal rate would be higher. Obviously, that was before the stress in the banking sector. And I realize there's a lot of uncertainty, but can you explain at all to what extent your forecasts or those of your colleagues or those of the board staff incorporated today a material tightening of credit availability because of the stress in the banking sector, or are you waiting to see it in the data before you incorporate that potential tightening into your forecasts?
So, we've just come from an FOMC meeting, and the people who write the minutes will be very carefully counting. But I'll tell you what I heard. What I heard was a significant number of people saying that they anticipated there would be some tightening of credit conditions, and that would really have the same effects as our policies do, and that therefore they were including that in their assessment, and that if that turned out not to be the case, that in principle you'd need more rate hikes. So some people did reflect that in their SEP forecasts. I think there may also just have been, remember, this is 12 days ago. We're trying to assess something that just is so recent, and it's very difficult. There's so much uncertainty. So December was a good place to start, and we wound up with very similar outcomes for December. And in a way, the data in the first 5 weeks of the intermeeting period, pointed to stronger inflation and stronger labor market. So that pointed to higher rates, and then this latter part, kind of the possibility of credit conditions tightening, really offset that effectively.
To follow up, have you considered at all whether your primary tool, the funds rate, is going to be enough to sustain the kind of tighter financial conditions that you believe will be necessary without doing significant damage to the banking sector? Have you, for example, considered changing reserve requirements, selling assets out of the system, open market account, as a way to better achieve tighter financial conditions that don't accelerate deposit erosion, for example, from banks?
We know that we have other tools in effect, but no, we think our monetary policy tool works, and we think, many banks, our rate hikes were well telegraphed to the market, and many banks have managed to handle them.
Hi, Victoria Guida with Politico. I wanted to ask, you, along with the FDIC and the Treasury, the Fed Board decided to invoke the systemic risk exception to allow uninsured depositors to be protected at these two banks. And I was just wondering if you could speak to why that decision was made. Was it purely a confidence issue, or was there a concern that there would be some sort of economic contagion or financial contagion from the failure of these banks?
The issue was really not about those specific banks, but about the risk of a contagion to other banks and to the financial markets more broadly. That was the issue.
Okay, and then can you also, just to follow up, can you speak to the role that you will be playing in the Fed's internal investigation on its supervision and regulation?
So Vice Chair Barr is of course leading that review, and he's responsible for it in his capacity as Vice Chair for Supervision. I realized, right away that there was going to be a need for a review. I mean, the question we were all asking ourselves over that first weekend was, how did this happen? And so what we did was early Monday morning we sat down and said, let's do this, and he was obviously going to lead it in his capacity. So I don't, my role was to announce it, and I get briefed on it, but I'm not involved in the work of it.
Hi, Chair Powell. Howard Schneider from Reuters. So I want to go back to your February press conference. You mentioned the word disinflation, I believe, 9 or 10 times, a process that you felt was, I forget the word you used, but gratefully underway or something like that. Is disinflation still occurring in the U.S. today?
Yes, I mean, what actually happened, Howard, was I got the question 12 times. So maybe it's a feature, not a bug. But yeah, absolutely absolutely the same. The story is intact. So it's really three parts, right? Goods inflation's been coming down now for 6 months. It's proceeding more slowly than we would have liked, but it's certainly proceeding. Housing services is really a matter of time passing. We continue to see the new leases being signed at much lower levels of inflation. So that's 44% of the core PCE index, where you've got a story that's ongoing. Where we didn't have in February, and we still don't have now, is a sign of progress in the non-housing services sector, and that is, that's just something that will have to come through softening demand, and perhaps some softening in labor market conditions. We don't see that yet, and that's of course 56% of the index. So the story is pretty much the same. I will say that the inflation data that we got, to your point, really pointed to stronger inflation.
If I could follow up on that, I was curious why you don't see more coming from the credit crunch, because it seems to me that's something that you'd actually welcome to a degree and expect. And are you not seeing more coming from that because you don't know, or because you just don't want to have another round of wishful thinking?
So it's really just a question of not knowing at this point. There's a great deal of literature on the connection between tighter credit conditions, economic activity, hiring, and inflation. Very large body of literature. The question is, how significant will this credit tightening be, and how sustained will it be? That's the issue, and we don't really see it yet. It's so people are making estimates. People are publishing estimates, and it's very kind of rule of thumb guesswork almost at this point. But we think it's potentially quite real, and that argues for being alert as we go forward, as we think about further rate hikes. For us, we'll be paying attention to the actual and expected effects from that.
Gina. Hi, Chair Powell. Gina Smilek from the New York Times. Thank you for taking our questions. I wonder if you could talk a little bit, I know that you've got your internal review coming, but I wonder if you could talk a little bit about what you think happened with oversight at Silicon Valley Bank, and whether this suggests that something about regulation and supervision needs to actually change going forward. And I wonder, how can the American people have confidence that there aren't other weaknesses out there in the banking system, given that this one got missed, as you noted?
So let me say what I think happened, and then I'll come to the questions around supervision. So at a basic level, Silicon Valley Bank management failed badly. They grew the bank very quickly. They exposed the bank to significant liquidity risk and interest rate risk, didn't hedge that risk. We now know that supervisors saw these risks and intervened. We know that the public saw all this. We know that SVB experienced an unprecedentedly rapid and massive bank run. So this is a very large group of connected depositors, concentrated group of connected depositors, and a very, very fast run, faster than the historical record would suggest. So as for us, so for our part, we're doing a review of supervision and regulation. My only interest is that we identify what went wrong here. How did this happen is the question. What went wrong? Try to find that. We will find that. And then make an assessment of what are the right policies to put in place so that it doesn't happen again, and then implement those policies. It would be inappropriate for me at this stage to offer my views on what the answers might be. I simply can't do that. Vice Chair Barr is leading this, and I think he's testifying next week, so, but that will be up to him. So that's really where it is. The review is going to be thorough and transparent. It is clear, to your last question, it's clear that we do need to strengthen supervision and regulation. And I assume that there will be recommendations coming out of the report, and I plan on supporting them and supporting their implementation.
Sorry,
And the final point, can we feel confident that these weaknesses don't exist elsewhere, given that they got missed at this bank?
These are not weaknesses that are at all broadly through the banking system. This was a bank that was an outlier in terms of both its percentage of uninsured deposits and in terms of its holdings of duration risk. And again, supervisors did get in there, and they were, as you know, obviously, they were on this issue, but nonetheless, this still happened, and so that's really the nature of the of the review, is to discover that.
Michael McKee from Bloomberg Radio and Television. You've been very consistent in saying that the Fed would be raising interest rates and then holding them there for quite some time. Following today's decision, the markets have now priced in one more increase in May, and then every meeting the rest of this year, they're pricing in rate cuts. Are they getting this totally wrong from the Fed, or is there something different about the way you're looking at it, given that you're now thinking that moves might be appropriate as opposed to ongoing?
So we published an SEP today, as you will have seen, and it shows that basically participants expect relatively slow growth, a gradual rebalancing of supply and demand in the labor market, with inflation moving down gradually. In that most likely case, if that happens, participants don't see rate cuts this year. They just don't. I would just say, as always, the path of the economy is uncertain, and policy is going to reflect what actually happens rather than what we write down in the SEP. But that's not our baseline expectation.
Well, if I could follow up and ask, as you look forward into the rest of the year here, are you saying that what you see and the 5.1% basically consensus is based on it will be sufficiently restrictive, or is it leavened by the idea of you don't know what's going to happen? In other words, what should people think about in terms of how the Fed thinks about how far it is from the terminal?
It's going to depend. Remember, we're looking, for purposes of our monetary policy tool, we're looking at what's happening among the banks and asking, is there going to be some tightening in credit conditions? And then we're thinking about that as effectively doing the same thing that rate hikes do. So in a way, that substitutes for rate hikes. So the key is we have to have policies got to be tight enough to bring inflation down to 2% over time. It doesn't all have to come from rate hikes. It can come from tighter credit conditions. So that we're looking at, and it's highly uncertain how long the situation will be sustained or how significant any of those effects would be. So we're just going to have to watch. In the meantime, and obviously at the end of the day, we will do enough to bring inflation down to 2%. No one should doubt that.
Let's go to Rachel Siegel.
Hi, Chair Powell. Rachel Siegel from the Washington Post. Thank you for taking our questions. I know we've talked a bit about how Silicon Valley Bank was unique to a certain sector of the economy, but there's also growing concern that there are financial stability risks from the commercial real estate market and loans that will begin to roll over later this year and next, and that smaller regional banks also disproportionately hold those loans. Is there a risk that could mimic the kind of what we saw with SVB to banks that disproportionately are focused in commercial real estate?
So, we've well aware of the concentrations people have in commercial real estate. I really don't think it's comparable to this. The banking system is strong, it is sound, it is resilient, it's well capitalized, and I really don't see that as at all analogous to this.
Question, would you be open to an independent investigation separate from the Fed's probe?
I welcome. It's 100% certainty that there will be independent investigations and outside investigations and all that. So we welcome, when a bank fails, there are investigations, and of course, we welcome that.
Edward.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Edward Lawrence from Fox Business. Inflation has been rather sticky, so do you need help from the fiscal side to get inflation down faster?
We don't assume that. We don't give advice to the fiscal authorities, and we assume that we take fiscal policy as it comes to our front door, stick it in our model along with a million other things, and we have responsibility for price stability. The Federal Reserve has responsibility for that, and nothing is going to change that. So we will get inflation down to 2% in time.
And if I can follow on that, but they're working, the spending that's happened is working against what you are doing, right? So it's prolonging inflation?
You know, if you have to look at the impulse from spending, because spending was, of course, tremendously high during the pandemic, and then as the pandemic programs rolled off, spending actually came down. So the sort of fiscal impulse is actually not what's driving inflation right now. It was at the beginning perhaps part of what was driving inflation, but that's not really the story now.
Let's go to Neil Irwin.
Hi, Chair Powell. Neil Irwin with Axios. Two questions about aspects of the government's response on Silicon Valley Bank 2 weekends ago. First, why is this new bank funding facility done under Emergency 13.3 authority as opposed to expansion of the discount window, changing the terms of the discount window that's been around a long time? And second, can you discuss the Fed's role in the FDIC guarantee of uninsured depositors and why there's $143 billion on your balance sheet last week supporting that deposit guarantee?
Sure. So 13.3 seemed like the right, we have a little more flexibility under Section 13.3. We've done quite a lot under the discount window as well. We needed to do a special facility that was designed a certain way, so we did it under 13.3. Really no magic to that. It's only available in unusual and exigent circumstances, and it has to meet certain requirements, but it seemed to be the right place. So with the FDIC, we're lending to the, in effect, we're lending to the bridge bank. So that's where the funds came from, and it's a loan that's 100% guaranteed by the FDIC, so there's no risk in it for us.
Okay, Chris Rugaber.
Thank you. Chris Rugaber at Associated Press. The SEP suggests one more rate hike, as does the change in the language in the statement, and which suggests that you're perhaps nearing the end of a cycle of rate hikes. Do you feel, though, that if inflation remains high, you'll be able to resume additional hikes as needed, or have you somewhat tied your hands here with these signals about rate hikes coming to an end? Thank you.
No, absolutely not. No, if we need to raise rates higher, we will. I think for now, though, as I've mentioned, we see the likelihood of credit tightening. We know that can have an effect on the macroeconomy, on demand, on labor market, on inflation, and we're going to be watching to see what that is. And we'll also be watching what's happening with inflation and in the labor market. So we'll be watching all those things, and of course we will eventually get to tight enough policy to bring inflation down to 2%. We'll find ourselves at that place.
Kyle.
Hi, Chair Powell. Thanks for taking the question. Kyle Campbell with American Banker. I have a couple questions about the balance sheet. First of all, I'm curious at what point the financial supports that the Fed is extending through the discount window and through its enhanced lending facility might be at odds with the objective of reducing the balance sheet. And I'm also curious what your thoughts are on not just the availability of reserves, but the distribution of them throughout the banking system, and at what point you might be concerned about it being scarce for certain banks.
So people think of QE and QT in different ways, so let me be clear about how I'm thinking about these recent developments. So the recent liquidity provision that has increased the size of our balance sheet, but the intent and the effects of it are very different from when we expand our balance sheet through purchases of longer-term securities. Large-scale purchases of long-term securities are really meant to alter the stance of policy by pushing up the price and down the rates, longer-term rates, which supports demand through channels we understand fairly well. The balance sheet expansion is really temporary lending to banks to meet those special liquidity demands created by the recent tensions. It's not intended to directly alter the stance of monetary policy. We do believe that it's working. It's having its intended effect of bolstering confidence in the banking system and thereby forestalling what might otherwise have been an abrupt and outsized tightening in financial conditions. So that's working. In terms of the distribution of reserves, we don't see ourselves as running into reserve shortages. We think that our program of allowing our balance sheet to run off predictably and passively is working. And of course, we're always prepared to change that if that changes, but we don't see any evidence that that's changed.
Hi, Chair. Katerina Saraiva with Bloomberg News. The minutes of the February meeting, the last meeting, indicate that you discussed the possibility of runs on non-bank financial institutions and the impact of large unrealized losses on bank portfolios. Can you talk a little bit more about that discussion, kind of what was talked about in light of that? And then why didn't the Fed, do anything about that at that point to ultimately prevent, what happened this month?
I mean, to be honest, I don't recall the specifics of that. It's quite an interesting 7 weeks, but I will tell you though that there have been presentations about interest rate risk. I mean, it's been in all the newspapers. It's not a surprise that there are institutions that have had unhedged long positions in long duration securities that have lost value as longer term rates have gone up due to our rate increases. So that's not a surprise. I think, as you know, as it is now on the public record, the supervisory team was apparently very much engaged with the bank repeatedly and was escalating, but nonetheless what happened. And so that's really the purpose of one way to think about the review that Vice Chair Barr is conducting, is to try to understand how that happened and try to understand how we can do better and what policies we need to change. I mean, one thing is the speed of I'll come back to that, the speed of the run. It's very different from what we've seen in the past, and it does kind of suggest that there's a need for possible regulatory and supervisory changes, just because supervision and regulation need to keep up with what's happening in the world.
Can you confirm whether or not the board knew about these escalations by the examiners in San Francisco?
I will have to come back to you on that. Yeah, I don't know.
Simon Urbanovich with The Economist. Thank you very much. Chair Powell, you've stated twice today that all depositors' savings in the banking system are safe. Are you saying that de facto deposit insurance covers all savings? Shouldn't Congress have a say in that? And just by way of example, if a bank with less than $1 billion in assets failed, are you promising to bail out all of its depositors? Thanks.
Well, I'm not saying anything more than I'm saying. So, but what I'm saying is you've seen that we have the tools to protect depositors when there's a threat of serious harm to the economy or to the financial system, and we're prepared to use those tools. And I think depositors should assume that their deposits are safe.
Let's go to Greg Robb.
Thank you, Chair Powell. Greg Robb from MarketWatch. I was wondering if you could give us a little bit more color. You gave just a little bit of color. You said during the first week of the Silicon Valley weekend, you said the question you guys asked was, how did this happen when you saw Silicon Valley Bank? So I was wondering if you could go to the Credit Suisse merger. I mean, wasn't that the big gorilla in the room? Didn't you breathe a sigh of relief when that merger happened? Thanks.
Sure. So, that was really the Swiss government. We, of course, were following it over the course of the weekend, and we were engaged with their authorities in the way that you would expect, all the ways that you would expect. It seems to have been a positive outcome in the sense that the transaction was agreed to, and it has been, the markets have accepted it, and it seems to have gone well, and I think there was a concern that it might not go well. So coming into the middle of this week, yes, I would say that has gone well so far.
Nicole.
Hi, thank you, Chair Powell. Nicole Goodkind with CNN Business. In the summary of economic projections, the FOMC sees the unemployment rate increasing to 4.5% this year. I'm wondering how you anticipate preventing this from snowballing while using the admittedly blunt tools at your disposal.
So that's an estimate of what will happen as demand slows and as conditions soften in the labor market. And it's a highly uncertain estimate. And I mean, there's really, we have to bring inflation down to 2%. The costs of bringing it down, there are real costs to bring it down to 2%, but the costs of failing are much higher. And if you read your history, as I'm sure you have, you can see that if the central bank doesn't get inflation back in place, make sure that inflation expectations remain anchored, you can have a long series of years where inflation is high and volatile, and it's it's hard to invest capital. It's hard for an economy to perform well, and we're looking to avoid that, and and to get back to where we need to be, back to where we were for a quarter century, and get there as quickly as we can.
But I guess the question is, historically, it's hard to.
Mr. Mike, please.
Yes, sir. Historically, it's been hard to contain unemployment, and the question is, do you worry about some sort of snowball effect, and how do you factor that into your projections and your thoughts?
Well, it depends on whether so recessions tend to be nonlinear, and so they're very hard to model. The models all work in a kind of linear way. If you have more of this, you get more of that. But when a recession happens, the reactions tend to be nonlinear, and that's so we don't know whether that'll happen this time. We don't know. If so, we don't know how significant it will be. And so, we're very focused on getting inflation down, because we know in the longer run that is the thing that will most benefit the people we serve. That's how we can have we've had very strong labor markets through these long expansions that we've had. 4 of the 5 longest, or 3 of the 4 longest expansions in U.S. history have been really since the high inflation period. And the reason was inflation wasn't forcing the central bank to come in and stop an incipient or an expansion. You can have very, very long expansions without high inflation, and we had several of those, and they're very good for people. You see late in an expansion, you see low unemployment, you see the benefits of wages going to people at the lower end of the wage spectrum. It's just a place that we should try to get back to.
Hi, Chair Powell. Jean Young with Market News. I just wanted to ask, with all the events of the past 2 weeks, do you still see a possibility of a soft landing for the U.S. economy?
It's too early to say really whether these events have had much of an effect. It's hard for me to see how they would have helped the possibility, but I guess I would just say it's too early to say whether there really have been changes in that. The question will be how long this period is sustained. The longer it's sustained, then the greater will be the likely declines in or tightening in credit standards, credit availability. So we'll just have to see. I do still think, though, that there's a pathway to that. I think that pathway still exists, and we're certainly trying to find it.
Hi, Chair Powell. Nancy Marshall-Genzer with Marketplace. Just wondering how many financial institutions have been issued matters requiring attention or matters requiring immediate attention citations at this point?
How many? I don't know. But those are serious. Those are serious regulatory, particularly immediate attention. And I guess there were 6 of them. So.
And getting to the seriousness of it, how are you going to ensure that banks comply with these citations, take them seriously? How will you enforce them?
That is a great question and is right in the heart of what the review will be doing under Vice Chair Barr's leadership. So I think that's what you think about. What can we do to make sure? But again, that's not for me to answer today.
So you have specific thoughts on that?
Well, if I did, I wouldn't share them because I really, this review is going on. And, I want nothing other than us to find out what happened and why, figure out what we can do to do better, and then implement those changes. That's all I want. It's for me to be giving you my half-formed or partially informed thoughts. It just isn't appropriate. There's a real serious review going on with people from all over the Federal Reserve System who are not connected to this, to this work, not connected to this bank. And under again Vice Chair Barr's leadership, and I'm confident that it will produce a satisfactory result.
Okay, we'll go to Jennifer for the last question.
Thank you, Chair Powell. Jennifer Schonberger with Yahoo Finance. Curious, how do you view financial conditions right now? If credit becomes expensive enough, choking off growth, as you said you're watching for, would that situation warrant a rate cut? What situation would warrant a rate cut? And have the bank failures prompted any discussion around changing the implementation of the balance sheet runoff? Thank you.
So we haven't really talked about changing the balance sheet implementation That's not something we've discussed yet. As I mentioned, we're always willing to change that if we conclude that it's appropriate, but we're really not seeing any signs there. Sorry, then the question before that was, just give me a,
Curious how you view financial conditions now, and if
Yeah,
credit were
okay.
to tighten enough, if that would prompt a rate cut.
So, financial conditions seem to have tightened, and probably by more than the traditional indexes say, because the traditional indexes are focused a lot on rates and equities, and they don't necessarily capture lending conditions. So we think that, though. So there are other measures which if they're focused on, bank lending conditions and things like that, they show some more tightening. The question for us, though, is how significant will that be, and how, what will be the extent of it, and what will be the duration of it? And then, once you know that, there's a fair amount of research about how that with broad uncertainty bands, how that works its way into the economy over what period of time. And so, so we'll be looking to see the first part of that, like how serious is this, and how does it look like it's going to be sustained? And if it is, it could easily have a significant macroeconomic effect, and we would factor that into our policy decisions. I mentioned with rate cuts, rate cuts are not in our base case, so that's all I have to say. So, thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, he says. Indeed. Wow, did things get messy here at the end. We're gonna talk about it. Holy crap, everyone. Did you catch that? I mean, this is an absolute disaster. All right. I did a video not too long ago, and I was talking about how XRP, XLM are just always missing out on the price, right? Every time they pump, it just done, Well, look at what we're seeing right now. And I just did one about XRP being manipulated, all right, at the 40-cent mark. Look at this. XRP making another move down. I mean, like the chart can barely keep up with it. Look at this. It really appears as if we're going to be going all the way back to pre-pump levels. This is extremely frustrating. And for those of you out there watching, wonder why I like the heat map. I like the heat map because I can see the visuals like this. I could see XRP's deep red. You know what I mean? So, oh, man. What a pain in the butt, everyone. Gosh. Oh, whatever. This is frustrating. So anyways, long story short, here is what Jerome Powell and the Fed have to say. They said they're going to raise rates slower. They're not going to be as heavy. But they're going to be restricting credit facilities. They're going to be tightening lending standards. So what's going to happen is that you're going to see now credit limits get cut. You're going to see people have to put more down, right? The loan-to-value ratios are going to change. Income guidelines and so forth. This is frustrating. This is very, very frustrating. Very frustrating. Ty Zero says, yeah, Adidas, definitely give this man a contract. I love me some Adidas clothes. I'll even tuck my hoodie strings in so you could see the logo. But yeah, it's not that I'm giving up the hype on XLM and XRP. But what I can tell you is time and time again, we are getting rejected. We are getting rejected at these key levels. Now, let's look at our favorites, okay? And let's start talking about it. Let's blow this up right here into the 5-day. Look at XLM. Rejected at that level, right? 9-10 cents, right? It got to 9.9. And then, boom, look at this. We're now right at that 9 mark. I mean, this is what we need to see. We need to see XLM hold at 9. We need to see XRP resist this at 40 at the most. We need to see that happen. Oh, frustrating stuff, everyone. Because if we zoom out, right? If we zoom out and we go to the 3-month and I just take us out back just a little bit further to FTX time, This is where we were right here with FTX. We almost erased the FTX crash, but now you can see we're following that same candlestick pattern. Look at the pattern here. Come on now. This is junk, man. This is junk. Final Ken says, guys, I'm sorry, but I fled to Bitcoin and ETH while we were at war. I'll be back to more speculative plays when conditions cool off. No, Final Kens, I think a lot of people are thinking that. A lot of people are looking at it going, all right, is the Bitcoin rally going to continue? But now look at Bitcoin. Bitcoin's getting rejected again. Bitcoin right was trying to make that push to 28.5, rejected yet again. Peter Palm says, is XRP and XLM's underperformance tied to seemingly indecisive SEC fight? No. I mean, some of it is, honestly. I think XRP is held back until you get court resolution. I really think so. I don't know if you're going to see XRP moon, or, not moon, but I don't think you could see a real big breakout until we get court case resolution. The court case is always hanging over our heads, and that is super, super frustrated. Housing market. How can the housing market go down if private equity groups out there have cash so they don't have to worry about Jerome Powell and the Fed raising rates? Right? They got cash. That's the deal, isn't it? Oh, gosh. Frustrating stuff, everyone. So when we were watching, Jerome Powell talk, and when he was talking about the summary of economic projections, you're welcome to look at that. It has projection materials right here. You can go over that. I mean, this is just not what we wanted. A lot of issues with long-term inflation. GDP will be slow. A lot of people in the Fed are saying 2024, 2025, as you can see here, when things start turning around. Ty Zero says, when should we expect final court decision on XP? There is no actual official ending date. As you saw just recently, Ripple Labs filed per part of what happened with Voyager's court case. They just recently, so you can keep filing stuff. You can keep filing motions and all that stuff. But right now, there is no date. It is all up to Judge Torres. Oh, frustrating stuff, everyone. But the big thing I want to look at right now is I am going to be watching XLM like a hawk hit that 9-cent mark and bounced on back up. That's what we need to see. That is what we need to see. Twitch Radio says, I'm in gold and silver mostly right now. Then I'm waiting for the housing market to drop so I can buy some real estate. How is housing, though, going to drop if private equity groups, though, have cash? And when they have cash, they don't have to worry about housing rates, do they? No, they can just buy it cash. And they could buy at a discount because a lot of people won't be able to buy because rates are so high and home prices haven't gone down. Joe says, do they need USD to crash first? You know, Joe, the problem is the U.S. has gotten really good at kick the can. The problem is the United States has gotten so good at saying, hey, we're going to keep bailing people out at the expense of the taxpayer. We've gotten so darn good at that. God, is it a mess. Total mess. Algo still up. Render still up. Thank you for shouting that out, Wave Lord. 1-1 says, hey, what did I miss? 25 basis point rate increase coming from the Fed. Jerome Powell said, hey, we're going to back things off a little bit on the rate hikes, but we're going to tighten lending restrictions. Loan to value is going to be a mess. You're going to see credit lines cut down a little bit. A lot of lending restrictions happening. So what Jerome Powell is saying is that, hey, guess what? We don't have to just raise rates. We can mess with lending standards. That's important. That is very, very important. Bitcoin Shellback says, when this bubble is done, I think we'll be at half of what we're at now. This bubble is bigger than 08-09. Interesting. Bitcoin Shellback says we got lots of pain. Twitch, I'd be buying a house to flip, especially where I live right now. There's so many houses that are abandoned. Yes, abandoned houses, wedge properties, sub-market value properties are still prime right now. Move-in ready is fetching big money. But houses that need work, yep, that's where you're going to get it in. Man, frustrating stuff, guys. Market getting more red. Very, very red. Oh, XRP, Adam, deep in the red. XRP down almost 6% last 24 hours. The rally of XRP, this is how it's looking. Let's get down to the 5-day and take a look. XRP got to that 42.5. You could see it right here. They got to 42.5 and came back on up. Ben is being optimistic. We all love Ben on this channel. Ben says this could just be a healthy correction needed for another leg up. Flush out the junk. The problem I got is if we're going to start increasing lending standards, that just destroys retail. That just destroys the retail market, and it destroys the retail consumer. The consumer, people are just getting screwed in this, by the way. USDC market cap, I showed it on the live stream. Are you seeing this? Oh my gosh. USDC market cap, heavy erosion since the likes of Silicon Valley Bank, having $3.3 billion in there. Even though they're going to be made whole, they're okay. XRP is not Ripple. Very true. Very, very true. Cash is king right now. Money makes money in times like this. Cash is key because if you have cash right now, you can avoid high interest rates and you've got the money to buy while things are at a discount. I'm going to show you guys something kind of cool. My doggy. My doggy. She's sleeping on the floor with me today. Check it out. Here, guys. Hold on. Didn't mean to freak you out. Check it out. Hi, sweetie. Hi. Oh, hi, baby. Were you sleeping? You sleeping? She is a big, big girl. That is a big dog. That is my Shepherd Ray. She is a total sweetheart, and she loves hanging out with me along with Leia. Oh, hi, sweetie. Are you being a good girl? She's a big, big dog. Big, big dog. But right now, you've got tons of market cap action. Messed up right now with USDC. That is not something we want to see, trust me. Doge Lumens is right. Cash flow is king. If you got cash, you can buy now pennies to the dollar. That's the deal. Oh, gosh. Frustrating, everyone. Jerome Powell, too, was kind of an ass, just to let you know. Jerome Powell was very brief up on the mic. He was like, yo, we are done with this. Relaxed market dog. Yeah, she was. She was very chilled out. Oh, now I've got her up on the camera. There she is. You can see her. Oh, nice doggy. Look at her. She's so sweet. Man, messed up stuff, though, everyone. All right, so now the next meeting is happening May of 2023. The current rate, 454.75. We've got it up on the screen right now. We're going to be taking a look here to see if that changes. Remember, you can always go to cmegroup.com/market/interest rates, Fed Watch tool. Great one to use. What kind of questions do y'all have right now? Any questions specifically related to the Fed? Do you guys got questions about crypto, ceilings, floor prices? XRP doing the same thing as XLM, hitting a floor, right? We hit some support there at 42.5. That's good news. Good news. We like that. I like that. 42.5 moving on up. XLM did the same thing here when it hit that 9-cent mark. Moving it on up. I like it. Oof. When the Fed is deleted, move everything to the Treasury now. Man, should get rid of the Fed. Everyone right now is going to be keeping eyes, though, on CPI data. CPI data. When is the next CPI data? Let's take a look, everyone. CPI data from the Bureau of Labor and Statistics. Hold on, everyone. Hold on. I'm trying to get to it. CPI data comes out next, April 12th. So we've got about 3 weeks until CPI data come out. Oh, and trust me, I'm not jinxing anything. Oh, Dell103 says I missed it. It was a quarter rate hike by the Fed. With the Fed coming out saying, hey, we're probably not going to raise hikes as hard, but what we will do is we will make credit and lending tougher. We will raise the standards from people to get green. Hey, go back to green, damn it. That's a big takeaway from this. The Fed's next meeting, everyone. The Fed's next meeting is in May. May 3rd, by the way. There you go. Got it up on the screen. CPI data happening April 12th, about a week or so before April 20th. Rusty 912, Klaus, the 25 was baked in. There you go. 25 was baked in, so the market zooms for how long? Do you believe a sell-off on Friday? Part of me thinks that we're going to go back to pre-pump levels. I'm wondering, everyone. I'm wondering if we're going to run out of steam financially and we're going to go back to pre-pump levels. That would put XLM again at that under 9 cent mark, XRP under 40. It's not that I don't want that, okay? I'm just telling you guys right now, I don't want that. I want us to move. The problem I see, though, is we keep getting rejected. Veronica, I'm not waiting for them to say I need to be an accredited investor to buy XRP from the banks. That's true. Very true. XLM did almost hit 10 cents. But when it did almost hit 10 cents, see that? Went back down, and that's what started this move. Now we're seeing right now XLM get that floor. David Judah, 44. How many basis points did he raise it by? A quarter basis point right there. Saying in the future we're not going to raise it as much. I am definitely going to be keeping my eye on the heat map. If there are any questions you guys got, gals got, please shout them out now. Markets right now are in the red, comparatively speaking. We got a few in the green. We got a few. A little ADA action in the green, a little Litecoin right there. I see it. I'm with her. SHIB sitting there, down 1.7. Matic, $1.10. Lot of action happening. Past resistance is new support, things looking solid. That's kind of what I'm thinking. Nico, I'm thinking exactly that. I'm hoping this 42, because remember, XRP had trouble pushing through 42.5 several times. So now, hey, maybe 42.5 is where we start running from. Need to see that. Projections for USD. The problem, Joe, is with USD. I know a lot of us, Joe, and I'll speak like as a U.S. citizen type thing, right? The problem I have with USD is this. There's so many other currencies out there that are in worse trouble that every time we have problems with USD, other currencies' problems make the impact not as strong. So yeah, like if USD goes down, so do a whole bunch of stuff. So, oh, God. Let's see. Future Whale says, I'm glad he raised rates so that more banks collapse and people run to crypto. You got it, David. I got me cold storage wallets on 2 different chains. They can try to take my XRP. What I say is good luck. That is very true. Thank you, Twitch. So right now, the market is going to be waiting for more data to come out this week. We're going to have jobs data coming out. Housing data is going to be big. XRP down 7.5% last 24. Oof. Wow. Yeah, I'm not a fan of the CBDC by the U.S. government. I do not want to be tracked. Paul and I talked about that earlier today. DeSantis and all that out there. Paul, echoing what we talked about this morning on the phone. DeSantis and all them, they're not anti-crypto at all. They just don't want the government to have full control over your money once they issue that CBDC. Paxos going after the SEC. Why? Because of BUSD stablecoin declaration. Larry Beall, no questions, just a comment. Been watching you for a year now. Thank you, Larry. I greatly appreciate it. And Larry, let me know in the chat. Is the production, is the quality of the material that you're seeing from this channel better in this last year? Are you getting more value for your time spent? Let me know. I've been very interested about that. Ray, you want to go out there? Hold on, let me let my dog out super fast. Give me like 5 seconds. I got to open this door. You want to go out? All right, here you go. All right. Sorry about that, everyone. She just wanted to go outside. Oh, yeah. Larry B., it's a great community here. Thanks for joining us. Yeah, definitely. Definitely. Amazing community we got here on this channel. But right now, I'm hoping we can stay above. But look at XRP. I mean, we made that move, and then look what happens. We kind of go back to the poop shack again. That's where we're going to be watching this tightly. I'm telling you, man. Barno, top notch as always. Thank you, Barno. Larry says, I appreciate your expertise. You rock, my guy. Thank you, Larry. Love it. Odell103 says, love the channel, love the fans, Odell. Love the fans. The fans are why we're doing this. Doing a hell of a job. Keep it up. Thank you, Franco. But right now, what we're going to do is this. We're going to end the stream at 3:40. All right, so we got 7 minutes until the stream is over. Let me know what you want to talk about for those last 7 minutes. Because right now, I am down with the system. Better believe it. Better believe it. Oh, man. I'm very frustrated with all this action. Jerome Powell and the Fed is like, look, here's the deal. We're going to keep bailing out banks. We're going to do it. We're going to screw people over, tighten up things. Oh, man. It's crazy times, guys. Jerome Powell and the Fed right now knows that they'll bail out these banks because, let's be real here. They'll just print more money. They just printed $300 billion. But now what they want is they want the banks to tighten lending standards to, again, curb more of the demand from the consumer. See, if the Fed tightens lending standards, your credit card amounts that you have get cut. The amount you have to put down for loans increases. Your loan-to-value decreases. That's a problem because that means harder for people to buy cars, houses, all that kind of stuff. Oh, gosh. Yeah, Paris Blockchain Week coming up. Thanks, Paul. Thank you for letting me know. Final Ken's, I'm going to watch some Whiskey Ginger podcast and get even more baked. Rock on. Hey, Joe. Thank you much, sir. Yeah, we're going to rock it to 3:40. Barno's asking me, where do I stand on regulations? Are we close? No. Okay, I don't want to get political, okay? I'm not picking sides one side or the other. But the word on the street, Houses High Tresort says, hey, great content this past year. Klaus, thank you very much. Joe jumps in with a 5 as well. As standard on this channel, make sure you give Houses and Joe a big thanks for supporting the channel. Thank you, Joe. Thank you, Houses. Love it. Thanks, Twitch. Thank you very much. And make sure, hey, Twitch, before we do the next stream, let me know what songs you want me to play yours. I'll play them on here. Yeah, Meridian hosted at Spain this year. Everyone, how you feeling on that? Thanks, Nico, for bringing that one up. Hard wallet time. It's always hard wallet time. Thanks, Robert, for shouting out. Houses and Joe. Joe, channel member, rocking it. Channel member, stepping up big. Thanks, guys. Right now, the thing that I'm worried about is the Fed is going to keep crushing demand from the consumer. You've got execs from companies out there saying, you know what, we don't expect regs in the United States during this administration. Seriously, I'm not picking sides. I'm not saying one side is better than the other. Doge Lumens jumping in with Canadian support. Thank you, Doge Lumens. Everyone give him some love. Community First, welcome to the Stellar family. Thank you for your time and dedication. Everyone, please, let's give shout outs to everyone who's doing. I know you guys are giving the thank yous to me with the super chats, but let's make sure we thank the people that are doing the super chats. Thank you so much, everyone. Greatly appreciated. But as I was saying, what I'm wondering right now is that with all these people out there saying, hey, look, this current administration isn't going to get regs done, we're kind of messed, man. We're kind of messed. I honestly don't think we're going to be getting any regs during this administration. They're not working together on anything. In fact, think about this. We're still struggling with debt ceiling stuff. We fight about that. Crypto is starting to become political. Oh, I did a video about that. I did a video about that election time, and I told everyone, I said, you know what's up? I said, right now, and this was before the election, crypto is not political, one side or the other. You're starting to see a divide happen. You're starting to see the Republicans out there be more and more pro-crypto. DeSantis coming out big. Man, that's the problem. We're waiting. We're waiting for regs. And I don't think we're going to get it this current administration. I really don't, everyone. That's where the frustration is, guys. Hey, Nico, is that a legit story? I got to see that. If that's a legit story that the SEC is going after Justin Sun. If that's the case, then be ready for some Tron TRX action going into deep crap. Nico, let me know if that's a legit story. Leonard saying thanks for everything. Guys, seriously, fans, thank you. But right now, something I am super, super nervous about is this. Look at it, everyone. XRP down almost 10%. We need to hold on to better levels than this, and you can see we're trying. Nico says, saw it on Twitter. Let's see if we can find SEC and Justin Sun. Let's see what we got. Tron founder Justin Sun. Hey, Nico, Gold Star. Everyone give Nico a big thank you. You got breaking news here happening while we are live streaming. Here we go. Tron founder Justin Sun sued by the U.S. SEC on securities and market manipulation. Holy crap. And thank you to Doge Lumen for bringing Frank on over. We appreciate that. Holy shit, is this bad, everyone? Market manipulation is not something you want thrown at you. I'm going to read it out to you. The SEC said in a press release that it was suing Sun, the Tron Foundation, BitTorrent Foundation, and BitTorrent over the sale of TRX and BitTorrent tokens, BTT, describing it as unregistered securities utility tokens, utility to the chain, just like TRX is. The regulator further alleged, we have breaking news here, everyone. The regulator further alleged that the defendants fraudulently manipulated TRX's secondary market through wash trading. We knew this was going to happen. We've talked about wash trading. Final Kens, hopefully you're not too baked from wedding cake or Gorilla Glue, my good man. You and I talked about wash trading. We talked about how big of a problem it was. Holy crap. The agency, oh my God, this is even worse. You ready? The agency is also suing Lindsay Lohan. Jake Paul, go yourself, Jake Paul. I can't stand him. Soulja Boy, Little Yachty, Neo, Akon, Michelle Mason on illegal touting charges for their roles allegedly promoting TRX and BTT without disclosing they were paid to do so. So now we have more influencers getting taxed. The SEC has taken a poke at crypto. Where is TRX? Here it is, everyone. TRX is taking the beating right now. SEC action that just broke. Thank you very much, Nico, for sharing this with us. Let's get this TR quote up on the screen. Tron, TRX. Boom, look at it. There you go. You guys want action? You want breaking news? It's happening right now as we're doing this live stream. Screw the 340 ending. Let's keep rolling, everyone. Oh, man, I am not a Justin Sun fan, too. Oh, Jesus. Look at this, everyone. Look at TRX taking a legit nosedive on the news. The volume is showing it right here. Look at this. I can't even get the chart to fit cleanly on the screen. Holy crap. Justin Scam owns Pulionex. Yes, he does. But the breaking news right now is that Justin Sun, not only is he in trouble for unregistered securities. Yeah, guys, shout out to Nico on here. But not only is Justin Sun in trouble for unregistered securities, market manipulation and wash trading. That is big. That is very, very, very big. That is not something we needed to see right now. Justin Sun. Oh, bad, bad, bad. Man, is that bad. Holy crap. Yeah, I was thinking about it, Doge Lumens, but I mean, I don't know. We've got people on the stream right now. I just don't want to kill one. Wow, this is not good with Justin Sun. For wash trading market manipulation. SEC, here we go. Going after several people. Let's go sec.gov. Let's see if we can... Oh, I don't want Edgar. I want the rest of the stuff. Let's see, enforcement. Here we go. Let's see what we got here. Releases. I'm trying to figure out which one it's going to be under because I want to read the most recent SEC filing if I can find it on them. Let's put SEC Justin Sun. We'll do this again. Give me a second, guys. Wow, this is not good at all. Breaking news as Justin Sun SEC action. Not good at all. Market manipulation. Wow. Robert Melvin saying he can't sell his TRX. The Fed going after him. Here's TRX price right here. They broke through their resistance of 6 cents. XLM broke through their 9-cent resistant mark. And you've got XRP trying its best. Nico says, are any of his businesses registered in the U.S., though? Otherwise, the SEC can't do shit. Yeah, I don't think any of his stuff is in the U.S. In fact, Justin's son goes from country to country because he's wanted in several countries. He is not a clean character, just throwing it out there. Now, what can happen, though, is they can make it hard for people to buy TRX. They make it hard for people to do business with them. They can cut them out. I mean, they can do a whole bunch of things. Just same thing with Binance, right? They can make it harder for people in the U.S. to deal with Binance. Wow, TRX, though, taking an absolute beating right now. Look at the candlesticks on the screen. I can't even get it to fit. The candlesticks are happening so fast, I can't even get it to fit on the screen with TRX. And now just throwing it out here. All right, just throwing it out here. John Niner, thanking you. Just throw it out here, all right? You're telling me, and Nico, thank you for shouting this out. They waited? Come on now. Did they wait for the rate hike announcement to then announce this? Like, you see what I'm saying? Like, is this stuff all just crazily planned? Imagine what's going to happen with ETH when the Attorney General finally declares ETH as security and the SEC jumps in the lawsuit. Yeah, the SEC and CFTC are, by the way, fighting for who gets to rule ETH. Who I am 365 says they won't allow me to sell TRX. That's now the second person saying no allowing to sell TRX. Ray Love says Justin is fine, just FUD, buy the dip. Justin, like, this is not FUD. Justin is, like, legitimately wanted in several countries as a criminal. Like, that's not FUD, that's just, like, fact. Just throwing it out there. Since Binance got booted out of Canada, we've been stuck with Tron. Yeah. Completely planned. ASM Futures saying it. TRX just keeps on falling right now. If you got the stones, you buy the dip, but can you catch a falling knife? TRX now down 11% in the last 24 hours. Woo. So now let me ask you this, Robert Melvin, viewers in Canada, do you think Canada is going to go after Tron? TRX now. SEC just went after BTT and TRX. We got breaking news on the live stream, 298 here. Ray Love says use a VPN. I'm going to go even further, Ray Love. Use an anonymizer. Use an anonymizer as well, not just a VPN. Throwing it out there for everyone. Nico says Justin is shady. Yeah. I mean, he's shady, but like, I mean, the U.S. is trying to do everything they can to push everyone out. Market manipulation and wash trading. That is crazy. The market manipulation thing and wash trading is huge. That's going to set a standard because I think the SEC then is going to apply this to other ones out there. For those of you that do not know about the breaking news that happened right now, Nico broke it to us. The SEC alleged TRX, BTT are unregistered securities. Claimed Justin's son created an extensive wash trading program to boost their trading volume. The SEC said in a press release it was suing Justin's son, Tron Foundation, BitTorrent, and BitTorrent over the sale of TRX and BTT. Doge says 80% of trading volume in the market is fake. Yep, wash trading. Henry J says, do I think the SEC will go after XLM? XLM would be further down on the totem pole. I think you'll see bigger regulation things happening before specifically gone after with XLM. They have been after BTT. Yes, they have. BitTorrent. BitTorrent tokens. Those are utility tokens for their chain, right? TRX. So I think that's something we have to think about. Tell us more about that spell. Spell it for us, please, God. Yeah, shout out to Nico. This is crazy. The agency is also suing Lindsay Lohan, Jake Paul, who's a scumbag. Soulja Boy, Little Naughty, Neo, Akon, Michelle Mason on illegally touting charges for their roles in allegedly promoting TRX and BTT. Hey, LaJuan Williams says Anonymizer. Okay, never heard of it. I used Anonymizer during my competition days to procure goods. So, throwing it out there. That was like 13, 14 years ago. Technology still works. Adrova says, I saw a Twitter post yesterday where Sun minted a crazy amount of tokens. Dude is shady as hell. Yes, they are. Crazy stuff. Crazy, crazy stuff. But Ripple, XRP, sorry, my bad. I didn't mean to say Ripple. I just saw it up on screen. But XRP right now. I did mention it before, Robert Melvin. I told you, man, if you guys want to learn how to get away with stuff, I'm a good man. Ooh, man, XRP down 13% right now. Got to make that money to pay for the Supreme Court. We're all thinking it. If the Ripple Labs versus SEC case went to the Supreme Court would definitely back up Ripple Labs. Definitely. Nico said, I think Justin's selling his stash. I think Justin was wash trading to cover up him selling his stash. Throwing it out there, Nico. Big pullbacks in the markets. Can XRP hold? Bitcoin broke 27,000 right now, sitting at 26,903. ASM Future says Tor browser would be a good example of anonymizer. There's a problem, though, with Tor's browser. It has to do with their data. The government got into Tor's browser a while back. I'll just leave it at that, okay? I'll just leave it at that with Tor. Tor, I think, is too common. I'll leave it that common in quotes. Triple B, good comment. Isn't that what the SEC is doing? Market manipulation? Yeah. Picking winners and losers is the SEC. They're not out here to protect us. By the way, look at this. Bitcoin down 4.5. ETH down 4. XRP down big right now. Last 24 down 13%. XLM down 6.5. TRX down 13. TRX is down because the SEC is going after them. Wash trading and market manipulation. Justin Sun selling poo coins. You are being sought after by the SEC. All right, everyone, let's do this. Let's end the stream at 4 o'clock today. I still got a whole bunch I got to do. Holy crap. But this is bad news for the crypto market. This here, them going after Justin Sun on market manipulation and wash trading is a bigger impact to the market than what Jerome Powell said today. The reason why is market manipulation and wash trading is going to open the eyes to a lot of people out there that aren't in the crypto world but maybe in the business world to how bad wash trading is in crypto. That will then lead to people devaluing companies because they don't believe the volume is there that really is there. That will then devalue the firms themselves and then the tokens as a secondary reaction. Be very ready for that, everyone. Be very ready for that. Justin Sun being gone after by the SEC for extensive wash trading is the big story today. That's the big story today. Holden Treasure said, I'm surprised the SEC hasn't gone after Helium. Yeah, you know what? That shocks me too. I have been following that, Holden. Not as close as others, but I have been following it, and you're right. The exchanges are corrupt. XRP did not go down because of the rate hikes. Everyone knew that the rate hikes were here, Rockstar. I'm not giving you a hard time, but everyone knew about the rate hikes. We used the CME tool. We've been projecting it. I even told you guys what it was. It was priced in. The market went down because Jerome Powell said that they're going to tighten lending facilities now. You're going to have less money flowing into the market. They're going to make loans harder to get. Google Anonymizer. Just Google Anonymizer. I don't want to get into too much trouble. Come on, guys. Dark web action. Google Anonymizer. Yeah, this is it, man. This is the market ate its move, and now it got reeled back in. XRP getting really close to that 40-cent mark, everyone. XLM could not hold 9 cents. This is what I was paying attention to right here. You guys, we were watching this live. And remember when I said, hey, XLM popped on that 9-cent mark? And I was like, we really need to hold it. Look how it broke right through. Broke right through on that. Hans Wolf says, just about a month ago, TRX paid for a huge billboard sign as you're exiting JFK in New York City. I see it 3 times a week. Hey, thanks, Hans. Robert's laughing at my shenanigans. Man, thanks, Robert. I knew about them. I'm saying if you did raise them all, it would be still going up, which means it did affect the price. No. It didn't affect the price. Trust me. His rate hike announcement did not move it. And the way you can tell that, I'll show you how to do that, Rockstar. His rate hike announcement, all right, was done on the hour, all right? Was done on the hour, okay? So when they did it, we did not see that movement at that time. The movement came, Rockstar, a half hour later when Jerome Powell was talking about his summary of economic projections. That's when the Fed was talking about all the stuff on here about GDP and unemployment. That's what sent the price down. It wasn't the rate hike. Everyone knew about the rate hike. 85% of people had that baked in price-wise. It was his comments and the projections on how slow the economy is going to be. Not going to lie, XRP holders and hodlers didn't make a stink. Robert Tarian chiming in. As usual, the market pumps and the SEC drops a bomb. No, I got you, Ray. I know. And it is all theater. And it's not just theater. It's like, how do I put this? Theater's a very good phrase, right? It's not just theater. It's theater with theatrics. Doesn't that make sense? It's like over-embellished theater. I love theater, by the way. Yeah, Rockstar, it wasn't the price, man. It was his words. It was the fact that he said that unemployment is going to be going down, right? Or I'm sorry, unemployment's going to be high because of the things that we're doing in 2024. GDP is going to be slow. CME gap at 23,000 will get filled. Chris Burns rocking in. Doge Limit says advertising an illegal security is illegal, especially if you don't disclose it. Now here, I'm going to give you, Doge, I don't know how much of this you catch in Canada with like U.S. law, but the SEC specifically said you can do whatever the F word you want, all right, as long as you disclose it realistically, all right? That's the deal. So it's not about like unregistered securities for these people that are promoting it. Did you disclose you were getting paid? Did you say when you got paid, so forth? Like all that stuff, who paid you? You got to disclose all that. Justin Sun, market manipulation, extensive wash trading to boost their trading volume. So what happened was crypto was faking the funk. Justin Sun and CZ from Binance, both of them wash trading big time to make their volumes look crazy. How is it that all of crypto was going down, yet somehow Justin Sun, and we're talking CZ from Binance, knew the magical formula to make it work? Come on, everyone. This is crap. No, they were faking it, wash trading. Everyone knew they were doing this, but now that the SEC came out public, said wash trading and market manipulation on registered securities, that's bad. Naughty, naughty, Justin Sun. That is bad. This action right here with Justin Sun, bigger impact to the market because of wash trading. If it gets exposed how bad wash trading is in the crypto market, that will open the eyes to everyone out there how big of a problem we really have. By the way, TRX right now down almost 14%. TRX getting pummeled on the news. I can't even keep up. Look at the candlesticks here. Free frickin' fall. Free fall. The market is dropping fast on Jerome Powell's statements about tightening lending, but the market is really dropping fast based on the breaking news of TRX. We're going to be ending the stream here in about 3 minutes. Get your questions and comments in now before we shut things down. It has been an amazing stream. And by the way, I have a second channel. It's pinned up at the top of the chat. Please, I'm telling you guys, for those of you out there that don't, want to support the channel via super chats, I have no problem with that. I completely respect that. But if you could, Subscribe to the second channel. It's free. It's my passion projects outside of crypto. So like, you know how I do this kind of stuff? My second channel is where I have all my fun, where I get to do my cool editing, playing with the drone, protein shakes, all that kind of stuff. So if you want to support the channel, you're welcome to do so for free. Subscribe to my second channel, pinned at the top of the chat. These agencies are registered in Belize and other offshore places. Bahamas too, Doge. That's one of the big ones too. You're seeing a lot in Bahamas. TRX might get these listed because this didn't want something like this to happen with XRP years ago. This is bad. Doge Lumens chiming in. 100 exchanges are using wash trades. Yes, they are. Yes, they are. Wash trading is big. Crypto is about faking the funk, man. Faking the funk. Fake it till you make it. TRX getting pummeled. XRP is going to be something that I'm watching very closely the rest of the day. I still got to work out one more time today. I'm going to be watching very closely to see if XRP can maintain that 40-cent mark. Can XRP make it? But right now we've got one, wash trading. You're just trading the same crap back and forth. A good way to show wash trading, I make 2 wallets, okay? And those 2 wallets, I'm going to trade back and forth to myself. I'm going to trade XLM back and forth. So like, let's say I have $1,000 in this wallet. I'm going to then take that 1,000 and I'm going to trade it to this one, then to this one, then to this one, and then to this one, to this one. You can do it with bots or you can do it with your own personally created wallets and then use bots to do it. You just bounce the money back and forth. So that 1,000 that I had in this wallet, if I trade that 1,000 10 times, we've just done 10,000 in volume, but only 1,000. And it really wasn't moving because it was with the same people. That's the best way you could think about wash trading. Faking the volume. Thank you, Doge. How far do you think it'll go down? Man, I don't know. Honestly, like, I'm not trying to be negative, and you guys know I'm all about reporting the news. That's all this is. I'm a news channel. I want things to be good. But you're asking, how far do I think this will go down? You see these 2 candlesticks up on the screen right here? I have a feeling that we're going to go back to pre-pump levels. DC Chrome J. I think so. Yeah, and they will. They'll take your liquidity out, and they'll push you out. So you think there's a lot of liquidity, there's not. Yeah, and it's true, and that's where the problem comes in with these trading bots. But in terms of where I think the price is going to go, we're going to go back to here. We're going to go back to sub 40s, playing around in the upper 30s, mid 30s. Look, zoom back out. I'm not being negative, guys. Seriously. If it's one thing that I can say to everyone who's watching the stream right now, when I do videos about the news being negative, I'm not being negative. I'm just reporting the news. When things are positive, I'm a positive person. The problem I have, though, is we are retracing back to FTX levels. FTX crash levels. We're losing all that we gained. We're going back to November timeframe, mid-November, when the FTX crash happened. Very, very frustrating stuff, everyone. Look at this. This is the story you need right now, is this candlestick right here. No worries, Perk. Perk says, thanks for the info. New subscriber. Hey, thanks, Perk. I appreciate it. Love me the subs. Thank you, subs. But what we're thinking right now is, hey, are we going to lose everything that we gained? XLM, you can see right now, is following that same pattern. Look, I'm not being negative. More DCA. Doge Lumens being optimistic. We like optimism on the show. Thank you, Doge, for chiming in for that. XLM is going very close to pre-pump levels. Rockstar says, do I think XRP will rebound this week? What would be the news to rebound XRP? If we got court case action, yeah, of course. But the problem is, what good news are we going to have this week? That's the thing. Are we going to have anything big? I don't know. Robert Melvin, thank you much. D Chrome J says, long time listener, first time caller. I remember those days, man. You got to be maybe my age. I remember those radio shows. Long time listener, first time caller. Thank you for the shout out. What's the market cap of Tron? Well, that is a really good question. Let's take a look here. TRX market cap. You see it's up on my search bar. 6 billion right now. Let's go to the most recent one for Tron. I'm going to go to that market cap screen here for you. I got your back, buddy. Whoa. Market cap of TRX right now after this is 5.27 billion. 5.27 billion. And look at that. That's your market cap right there for Tron. Here's your price for the last 7 days. There's your market cap. ASM Future says, as long as the red daily candle doesn't break the low of the prior day's green, we should be okay. We got a lot of time left in this day. And there's a lot of candlestick negative action. A lot of negative action. Ooh. Yeah, there's other things than Tor. I'll just say that, okay? There's other things than Tor. Casey Kasem, Michael Wheeler rocking it in. Thank you. Man, what a mess. All right, everyone, here is the deal. I'm going to play some music. Make sure you guys all say goodbye. I'm going to be hanging out in the chat as I always do. So let me play some tunes. I'll hang out in the chats with y'all a little bit. But I'm going to turn off the camera, turn off the mic from now. Hang out in the chats. Oh, and I almost forgot, as is customary with this channel, we are a family, we're a group of people enthusiasts. Make sure you say goodbye to each other as well, okay? Remember, we're doing this as a group, as a team, so make sure you not only say goodbye to me, but make sure you say goodbye to each other, because there's a lot of the same names talking to each other in the chat. Love that kind of community action. And Ben, you know I get out on the mic. And Doge Lumens coming out again with the support. Thank you, Doge Lumens, community first. Ben, seriously, thank you very much. The drawing that your brother did for me that you were so gracious to send over across the pond has now a nice resting spot in the newly renovated studio. So thank you, Ben. Thank you, Doge Lumens. Everyone, give Doge Lumens a big thank you, too, for supporting the channel. Thank you very much, everyone. You all have a great rest of your day. I'm probably going to do a video on the breaking news with Tron. You guys all saw it here first.